Good afternoon to all the participants. Welcome to the Maybank Trade Talk 2022 with the theme Re-energize and sustain business growth with trade opportunities. It's an honor for Bizsphere Brand and Marketing Group being recognized as a key driver in SME development and invited by Maybank to co-organize this web forum. I'm Keng Teck, the Managing Consultant of Bizsphere Brand Marketing Group. Today, I will be your host and the moderator. Maybank and Bizsphere collaborated in year 2019, before the COVID pandemic, to organize this SME Export Forum. After 2 to 3 years of the pandemic, both parties agreed that it is time for us to gather industry experts to share some insights on the export market potential. Now, I will not be giving any speech today because every one of you would be seeing me throughout the session as the moderator. Now, I would like to invite our co-organizer to give the opening speech. Please welcome Puan Haslinda Abdul Hamid, Head of the SME Banking, Maybank Berhad, to give her opening speech. Puan Haslinda.
Thank you, Keng Teck. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all to Maybank Trade Talk 2022. And this talk or this program is part of Maybank's non-financial initiatives in humanizing financial services. And not only that, this program is also in support of the national agenda to promote new and global market expansion, especially for the SMEs who contribute 13.5% of the export market as at 2020. And SMEs, 97.4% of the business established in Malaysia comprises of SMEs and contribute 38.2% to our GDP. And not only that, 48% or 7.25 million employment in the country is provided by the SME sector. So it is a very important sector, and in Maybank, we serve 57% of the SMEs registered in Malaysia. That's a very large population, and we hope to reach out to all the SMEs in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the last 2 years have been a very challenging one, especially for the global trade, with the various lockdowns and multiple movement restriction orders, which inevitably has led to the disruption of the global supply chains. And we here at Maybank, we understand this unprecedented situation as we continue to enhance our processes and our services to ensure that we will still be able to meet you and your business needs in these current new norms. So in view of that, and also in view of the recent announcement or declaration of the endemic phase and the upliftment or the opening of borders, we believe that it is timely and very apt for us to have this program to assist the SMEs for them to have new or renewed opportunities as well as ideas in revival or rebounding or recovery of their business, especially for the SMEs who are actively involved in export, ready to export or plan to go for export market. So we bring to you today our strategic partners who are industry experts and players in the field who will be sharing with you how to capitalize the opportunities to grow your business further. And also we have our in-house experts who will be sharing with you the market outlook and trade opportunities to assist you in re-energizing and sustaining your business. I really hope that you will have a beneficial and a fruitful session today, this afternoon. And of course, my gratitude and appreciation to MATRADE, to Bizsphere Brand and Marketing Group as a co-organizer, as well as our esteemed guest speakers today, AXG Industries Sdn Bhd, Vanzo Industries, Vanzo Asia Sdn Bhd, Teozone Manufacturing Asia Sdn Bhd, and Bobel Group, who will be sharing their experiences and journey with us this afternoon. Last but not least, to all the enterprising entrepreneurs here in this talk today, Thank you for attending this program. Thank you for your strong support, and I also look forward to your comments and feedback at the end of the session. Otherwise, have a great session, and I wish you all greater success in your endeavors and future ventures. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Puan Haslina. I'm confident that the Malaysian exporters, especially the SMEs, will be able to get a lot of support from Maybank in their export journey. Now, export is not as easy as just making our products and services available to the global market. Okay, it takes a lot of time, effort, network, market intelligence, and promotion to gain access to the global market. We need a strong support, okay, a strong support of export promotion partner. Who will be your best partner? If it is not MATRADE, who would it be? Now, it's a great honor for us to have Yang Berusaha, Encik Muhammad Mustafa Abdul Aziz, CEO of MATRADE, as our guest of honor to give his keynote address. Encik Mustafa will be joining us from his office. Encik Mus, the stage is yours.
Puan Haslinda Abdul Hamid, Head SME Banking Maybank, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to all of you. I am honored to be invited to address the Trade Talk, Re-energize and Sustain Business Growth with Trade Opportunities, co-organized by Maybank and Bizsphere today. I must highlight that this initiative is indeed much needed for our Malaysian businesses to take part and continue to sharpen their knowledge as part of the effort to broaden their business horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, as a National Trade Promotion Agency under the Ministry of International Trade and Industry of Malaysia, or MITI, MATRADE is committed to support Malaysian companies to bring the best of our local brands to the international arena. Through our 46 overseas base as well as 5 regional offices in Malaysia, MATRADE works earnestly to boost upward trajectory of Malaysia's export. Come rain or shine, the show must go on. The past 2 years, undoubtedly the most uproarious we have experienced. The pandemic undeniably had affected the economic growth, but somehow the Malaysian business community remained resilient following the strong global demand, which led to a resurgence in trade activities. I'm glad to share that the year 2021 was a remarkable year. Malaysia's trade recorded a new milestone, surpassing 2 trillion mark for the first time. Trade, exports, imports and trade surplus soared to an all-time high for the year. Exports valued at 1.24 trillion ringgit, achieving 99% of the 12 Malaysian plan target for 2025, 4 years ahead of the projection. I'm happy to share that the Malaysia's trade continued its stellar performance in March 2022, registering an all-time record high for trade exports and imports. Trade expanded by 27.3% to 237 billion ringgit compared to March 2021, the 14th consecutive months of double-digit growth. Meanwhile, export grew by 25.4% to 133 billion ringgit, the 8th successive month of double-digit year-on-year expansion. 2022 is a crucial year for the Malaysian trade, with the world moving towards endemicity. MATRADE continues to intensify our efforts in strengthening Malaysian exporters so that they are ready for the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. Therefore, it is important for MATRADE and Malaysian exporters to continue to work together in spurring our national export growth to a greater height. This year, MATRADE outlines a total of 286 exporters development and export promotion programs, in which are devised based on the strategic directions of the National Trade Blueprint, with greater emphasis on digitalization and sustainability for the benefit of the Malaysian establishments. Ladies and gentlemen, last year, the 17th Malaysia International Halal Showcase, or MIHAS, was successfully conducted in a fully virtual format and generated record-breaking of 2.13 billion ringgit in export sales with the participation of local and international organizations. MIHAS 2022 will be bigger and better. It will be held in a hybrid format from 7 to 10 September 2022. I am confident that MIHAS 2022 will reinforce its stature as the world's largest and premier halal trade fair, and I encourage more exhibitors to participate in it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Malaysian government provides a plethora of services and assistance to help Malaysian exporters in going global. At MATRADE, we offer various support such as Business Information Center, Malaysia Export Exhibition Center, market intelligence and advisory services such as My Export Services. These facilities are offered to companies who have registered with MATRADE, where they will have real-time access to market alerts, product market studies, as well as trade leads to keep abreast of the latest market trends. Kindly get in touch with MATRADE for details or log on to our website www.matrade.gov.my to register your interest. In closing, it is my hope that the webinar today will provide impeccable information for the participants. May you have a productive session and wish you success in your business endeavor. Thank you.
Let's get into the action, okay, and start our first session of the web forum. Our discussion topic will be international trade, outlook and market accessibility. MATRADE has over 46 offices around the world, a total of 286 exporters development and promotion programs. Have you benefited in any one of it? Now, as mentioned by Encik Mustafa just now, export value at 1.24 trillion ringgit, achieving 99% of the 12 Malaysian plan target for 2025. It is actually 4 years ahead of our projection. Now, we Malaysian businesses, especially the SMEs, well, maybe we are small, whether we are small or big, okay, but we have the potential and we have the capability to export our products and services to the global market. We are delighted today to have two very senior officers from MATRADE to be with us today. Now, first, we have Puan Azima Ahmad Ghazali, Director of Development, Assistance and Exporters Advisory and Training, Puan Azima. And we have Mr. Sean Sim, okay, Mr. Sean Sim, Director of China and Northeast Asia, a section of MATRADE. Now, thank you for sparing your time with us today.
Thank you.
Now, let's get the dialogue active and let's chat. Now, Sean, let's start with you first. Sean, can you share with us whether Malaysia export growth, okay, has recovered to be as strong as the pre-COVID pandemic? Now, maybe what you can share is that the figures of the 2019 compared to 2021. So it's before and after the pandemic. Has the Malaysia actually recovered from all this pandemic?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yap. Well, the pandemic COVID-19 not only affected the physical health of the people in the world, but it also affected the economy and trade health of each countries. And we actually have in 2019 and 2020 at the peak of the COVID, our export actually declined. Market did a survey among our members, and we found out that a lot of people lost contracts and their revenue was affected.
Yep.
However, MATRADE just don't sit quiet like this. We go into action. We want to pull them up from drowning in the water. So we go digitalization, whereby we conduct e-Bizmatch, meaning it's an online buyer and seller program. So this e-Bizmatch is carry on during 2019 and 2020 and has been very successful to conclude deal even in a pandemic era. That is how you get the 2021 more than 2 trillion trade.
Excellent.
It's the first time we have it. And export is more than 1.24 trillion, as you mentioned just now.
Correct.
So because of this digitalization, we are able to do it in the midst of pandemic. And also we do virtual exhibitions and webinar and virtual acceleration export missions. So we basically bring Malaysia to the world via digitalization and able to achieve back the growth of trade. So in fact, in this year, 2022, 286 exporter development and export promotion will be conducted. So to continue the momentum of growth in Malaysia.
Okay. Wow, that's good. There's a lot of effort from MATRADE in promoting the Malaysian, especially the SMEs, because the SMEs really suffered during the pandemic and really need the help from the government agency. But yet, right now the COVID-19 pandemic is slowly accepted as an endemic worldwide. Okay, and many of the countries, the borders are opening, but a number of the borders are still partially closed, and it affected that the shipping, logistic, raw material cost has increased tremendously. I heard from some of the SMEs says that, wow, right now they can't get the raw materials, or the raw materials actually double up and so forth. How should Malaysian exporters prepare themselves to remain competitive and profitable?
Well, it doesn't only happen in Malaysia, it's a whole world scenario. This is beyond control because of how economic and political work in these situations. We never expect Ukraine war. We never expect trade tension. So a lot of things is beyond our control. However, we would like to suggest Malaysian company to deliver their products according to priority to their market that bring them more revenue. They should be prioritized that, as well as they need to make reservations of shipping or container in advance between 1 to 6 months.
1 to 6 months?
Yes, 1 to 6 months. And engage with various logistic company to know to compare the cost and the service of the logistic company. And also, as you mentioned, that raw material is a problem.
Yeah.
Malaysia should increase the stockpiles of raw materials. They got no choice. They need to do that.
Okay.
They need to have a storeroom for all this. All right. There's no magic we can do.
But cash flow is a problem for a lot of SMEs to stock up, and so they might not have the capability. Maybe later on, the Maybank might be able to give some solutions.
Yes,
on that.
exactly. You're right. You're right. And also, we encourage them to export via air freight or train. Especially in the ASEAN region, we can connect to Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia by train and by road.
Okay.
So this is what we suggest.
So meaning that we really need to actually explore other options. The world market is different already, with the raw materials price increase. Really need to seek a lot of the assistance from a lot of parties. As for example, a lot of assistance has been provided by MATRADE as well. Then let me go to the Puan Azima. Now, Puan Azima, MATRADE has always been providing high service standards. I have been working closely with MATRADE for more than 15 years right now. Okay, supporting the Malaysian exporters as well as the SMEs to be export ready. Now, I have hear many good words, okay, about the efficiency of MATRADE. Seriously, this is not to say on it, but I really go down to engage the SMEs, and these are the words coming from them. Okay, congrats to the MATRADE team over here. But can Puan Azima categorize the type of support? Okay, very briefly, what type of support, categorize it briefly, which is offered by MATRADE? Then we may drill down into details later on. I know MATRADE has a lot to offer beyond grants, because a lot of people, when we talk about MATRADE, say grants, MDG. But I know that MATRADE has more to offer. Maybe Puan Azima, you can actually share with us what are the categories of the type of support that the MATRADE is offering.
Thank you, Mr. Yap. Thank you for the kind words as well. And I'm very happy to know that the business community out there really appreciate what MATRADEs have done all this while, our initiatives and our assistance. For your information, MATRADE has two kinds of support, I can say. One is the non-grant, which is our services to the business community, especially the exporters, and another one is the grant. Okay, so as for the non-grants, it is more on our services to to get that. I really would like to urge the business community, especially for those who are already exporting or ready to export or have interest to export, to register with MATRADE first. Okay. As people always say, tak kenal maka tak cinta, right?
Yeah.
So with us, so that we can get information of your company, your products, who are the person in charge, you know, and which are the markets that you are looking for. And for information, registration is free of charge.
Yeah.
Okay, because we are a government agency, we don't charge anything, and there's no subsequent fees or annual fees. No.
I'm registered.
You are registered. So it's free of charge. Yeah. But we just and you can do it either or you can just do it online. You can just go to our website and you can take that, click at the that you like to register. And for registration, we just need firstly the ROC certificate for Sendian Berhad and ROB certificate for entrepreneur. Yeah.
Okay.
And once you are registered, and you can get the benefits as a MATRADE member, which among others will be the free usage of BIC, our Business Information Center.
Yeah, I will ask you about that later on that, because it's very useful. I've been there. Yeah.
And also you can apply our grants because you are a member of MATRADE, and you can get access to our offices in overseas. We have 46 offices abroad, as what you mentioned earlier on, and lots more.
Okay, cool. Because I myself, I have been helping a lot of the SMEs to export, and we as the consultant, we always go to the BIC, go to the library. When we go overseas, we also engage with the trade commissioner and participated a lot of the training programs and so forth. So a lot of them that we will discuss in very much detail. But for me, I always sees that in terms of the exporters, there are always two categories of exporters. Okay, one is that ready to export. Okay, those SMEs that are ready to export. Another one would be the having the interest to export. They have yet to go out, but having the interest to export, because Malaysia market was still relatively small. Okay, and the needs of these two category of exporters will be very different. How is MATRADE supporting these two groups? Okay, how do you divide that certain program for these two groups? Because SMEs, a lot of SMEs tend to just blindly sign up for any programs. Okay, like for example, if let's say I have not yet ready for export, but I want to sign up for trade fairs. So there's something that is not relevant over there. So can you just explain a little bit, in your opinion, how would these two groups will be served by MATRADE?
Okay, as I mentioned earlier on, it is advisable to register as a MATRADE member. So once you are registered with MATRADE member, your application is approved, where you need to give us only those two things, either the certificate of ROC or ROB, certificate of ROB from SSM. And also you need to give us the latest company's profile. Okay, this you can get from SSM itself by paying them 15 ringgit. You attach both and you give it to us, and if everything goes smoothly, I mean your company is in good shape, good picture,
Yeah.
you know, no complaint or
Yeah.
anything, we will register you as a MATRADE member. And once you are approved as a MATRADE member, we will give you a set of questions. It's like a survey, 23
It's like
questions.
ERAT, is it?
Yes, that
Yeah.
is called ERAT.
Export
Called
readiness
assessment tool.
Tool. Okay.
Yes, we will. Once you are approved, you will get this ERAT. This is a survey with 23 questions. There's no wrong or right. So the most important thing is for you to answer sincerely, so that we know where you stand. So once you have finished that, you will get your marks and you will be categorized into beginner, intermediate, and also advanced.
Okay.
So from there, we can already know where, which position you are in, and we can advise you what to do next.
Yeah.
So you can contact us, and for beginners, usually we will get them to get to know about exporting first. So
Export development side.
no, exporting all about export information. Yeah, exporting, how to export and all that. With that, we will get them to go for our training. So we have a unit for training. So we have a lot of things they will teach you there, like the steps to export, you know, and about the market.
I was one of the trainer before for the MATRADE for the SME exporters as well on that.
Okay, good. So we would like them to go for this training first. So for those who are intermediate, meaning that either they have export kecil-kecilan, you know, or they have just, you know, export to our neighbors countries, we will get them to maybe join other programs, but they still need to join some training programs as well.
Okay.
But if the most important thing, if their capability, if they have the capacity to export their products, they have enough products to export, and then meaning that they are ready to export, so they can follow us to our programs. And for those who are usually first timer in exporting, usually we will advise them maybe to join trade exhibitions in Malaysia. We have international trade.
International trade and local trade fairs
international
as well.
trade in Malaysia, like MIHAS. We are MATRADE is conducting actually MIHAS, Malaysia International Halal Showcase. So it will be held this year in September, 7 to 14, if I'm not mistaken, of
we will
September.
discuss in detail in terms of halal market later on.
So they can join that because it's better to be in your country than, you know, you have no experience and go overseas, and that may be second, third step lah.
I totally agree, because for the exporters, I have actually followed quite a number of the exporters to go for local or also international trade affairs. There are a lot to be learned. Okay, it's not only just to bring in your product just to put there to exhibit. So please make sure that you register with MATRADE. Okay, go and sign up for the ERAT. ERAT would be able to categorize you towards the different categories, and MATRADE will be able to recommend you what are the programs that you can benefit from it. Now, let's go back to Sean right now. Now, Sean, one of the key policies that the exporters, especially the SMEs, are very concerned right now. I wouldn't say that it's a concern, but it's a top of the town right now. Which is the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which is RCEP agreement, that has come into force for Malaysia on the March 18, paving the way for the country to integrate into the world's. This is one of the world's largest free trade zone, involving 15 countries with a total population of 2.2 billion. Imagine how big is the market. But what's in it for Malaysian SMEs? Because when we engage with the SMEs, some of the SMEs says, wow, great, we have this RCEP. It's full of opportunities, we can actually market more. But some of them, they also have some fear that, hey, would it threaten the survivability of the local SMEs? Can we cope? Are we ready for that? What's your thought on that?
Well, okay, I take the last question first, whether they will affect the competitiveness of the local supplier. Well, in today's world, you cannot afford to lack in your competitiveness. That's why there's an Industrial Revolution 4.0
Yep.
is in place so that you can compete in the global market. There's no such thing is that you are afraid of the big guys or more advanced guy. You yourself have to be ready. If you look at the statistics, Malaysia actually has long time trading with RCEP countries. And in 2021, last year, trade with RCEP actually increased with 25.5%. And export is increased with 23.4%. That is before the implementation of RCEP. Yes. So with RCEP, then the market access will be to 1/3 of world population, just like you mentioned just now.
Yep.
And we can also do the intra-sourcing raw material, which very important in the supply chain. Okay, and we have a closer integration with the supply chain within the RCEP region, and a standardization of trading rules, mutually recognized standard. See, before that, we have ASEAN, China, one rule. ASEAN, Japan, one rule. ASEAN, Korea, one rule.
Frankly, we're very confused. There's so many free trade agreement that
now
so many to learn.
Now only RCEP,
Okay.
which is comprised of 15 countries. So you only have one conditions. So it will be actually advantage to the Malaysian exporter.
That would be great.
Yeah. So there will be a clarity of IP rights and things like that. So this year we are planning our trade promotion activity. 53% of it will be into RCEP countries.
Oh, nearly half of it will be focusing on the RCEP.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this is all I can share about the advantage of joining RCEP.
Okay. So basically, in my opinion, because just now, Sean, you mentioned about the Industrial Revolution 4.0.
Yes.
I myself, I'm also in technical committee in the MITI Industry Forward technical committee on the side. Now, a lot of people might think that Malaysia is not up to date. But Malaysia SME, we got approximately about 50,000 manufacturers. And quite a high number of them are already starting to embark into the Industry 4.0. Nearly about more than 1,000 companies has already gone through the readiness assessment for Industry 4.0. And we are actually moving positively towards modernizing our factories towards the smart manufacturing. So I'm very, very confident that the Malaysian SMEs will be able to benefit from this RCEP.
Yes.
Now, MATRADE has been also the second issues that I always join MATRADE activities, and one of the areas that the MATRADE right now has been trying to push a lot is sustainability. Okay, sustainability. This term is very general. Maybe Sean, you can explain why Malaysian exporters ought to be ready for sustainability, ready for exporters. Because what is it sustainability about, and why is it important for Malaysian exporters?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give a simple definitions of sustainability. So the United Nations define it as the reconciliation of environment. Okay, meaning that if you chop one tree down, you make sure you plant another tree to replace. Okay, and you also talk about reconciliation of social. And so you must have a good working environment for your employee or in their hostel.
That is part of the sustainability
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Okay.
And also on economy demands, like for example, what kind of packaging that you use, is it biodegradable, things like this. So this is the simple definition of sustainability. So exporter need to responsible for the natural environment as well as the safety and right of all stakeholders involved. So in global value chain these days, purchasers are actually looking for sustainable companies as their seller. So this is to protect the environment and also the social standards.
Yes, because what I have experienced before with one of the exporters previously is that they said that they lost a deal. They lost a deal. Why? They lost a deal to companies that have actually adopted the sustainability, but they have yet to do that. So the purchaser in the overseas, they prefer to deal with the exporters which have already adopted the programs of sustainability. So that's why that it's very important for us to actually embark into this sustainability journey as well.
Exactly, exactly. In fact, MATRADE have taken the lead to organize a kind of a talk. We call that Sustainability Action Value for Exporter SAFE in October 2019. We call all the exporter here, and we tell them how to engage, in sustainability practice, so that there will be an action plan to facilitate the engagement of Malaysia exporter to embrace sustainable practice as a business agenda by itself. So MATRADE have done this in stages. We educate our exporter to be ready for the new trend and the new requirement.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I frankly, despite that I'm very involved in the business, in the SMEs, also on the program of MATRADE, this sustainability agenda is still rather new to me. What's more to the other SMEs over here? Now, I think that we need to actually have more effort to actually promote that. Hopefully, Bizsphere and MATRADE can work together in terms of promote this concept of sustainability.
Yes.
Now, let's go to Puan Azima. Now, Puan Azima, just now I mentioned already that we need to drill a little bit deeper into the non-grant support. Okay, one of the non-grant support, actually two, combined two. Number one is that MATRADE has over 46 overseas offices. Okay, when I asked the SMEs, do you know about that? I said, yeah, so what? What can we actually get from them? I said, do you know that you can get a lot of information, a lot of guidance, a lot of support from them? Oh, we can really get their help. They do not know about that. That's number one. Number two, the Business Information Center. Now, we, Bizsphere, as the branding and SME consultant, we do a lot of the market research on behalf of our clients. And a lot of times I spend a lot of times inside the library. I have to say that which is the best business library in Malaysia? You have to go to MATRADE, because over there you get most of the information free. So I would let Puan Azima to explain further in terms of what can we actually get from the 46 overseas offices, number one. Number two, what can we get from the BIC? Puan Azima.
Thank you. Before that, Mr. Yap, I think I better touch a bit more just now because I mentioned about the ERAD, about the beginner, the intermediate, and also the advanced. So I didn't have the chances now to say for advanced group, for those companies who are in the advanced stage, we can also assist them because some of them may have said that we are already exporting, so what can MATRADE assist us more? But that is under the advanced group. We can assist you more by increasing your market, actually, your export market. So for those who already export, you still can become a MATRADE member, and we will assist you to expand your export market. Okay, coming to your question just now, yes, we have 46 offices overseas, and these offices overseas, 12 of them are marketing officers, which is headed by our marketing officers from the people who head. The officers who head the office will be from the the person who lives in that country.
Okay.
Okay, but only 34 countries, 34 officers that is headed by Malaysian. Okay, which means that our officers here will be going there and head the office over there. Okay, if you are a member of MATRADE, you can get to liaise with them directly. Just send them an email if you need any information. Okay, and also they can share with you some of the market studies that they have done for that particular country.
Okay.
And also one of the services is that let's say you are going for a trip to a particular country where you have our officers there.
Yeah.
So if you have time, you can stay maybe one more additional day. You can get our officers there to maybe arrange a business meeting for you to meet with your potential clients for your products. But remember, you have to give us way in advance. Yeah, for
Yeah.
this, maybe about 1 or 2 months lah. 2 months will be better
2
because because our officers there need to check who are the buyers, you know,
Correct.
that are free to meet you and to arrange that.
I have
Yeah.
experienced that before. Very, very nice. That time in 2016, I went to India. I went to Mumbai, India,
Yeah.
because I was invited to speak at the World Marketing Congress. So I took the opportunity to go and visit some of the potential market over there. And Trade Commissioner over there actually managed to arrange a meeting for me with the SME Association in the Mumbai that side. So it's very, very good because if we go by ourselves, we will not be able to get the appointment. So that is a very high value services that the MATRADE can offer to us. What about the BIC?
One more, which I think is important also.
Okay.
Besides that, you can also check with our officers overseas because I understand that some of you maybe suddenly receive an order, maybe big order. So you are not sure whether this is it's a scam or you know this is
we don't know who is this.
Who is this? So you can also check with our officers about the companies
Do the due diligence.
Yeah, due diligence about the companies who would like to have a business with you. Yeah.
Okay.
And as for the business information center, I think MATRADE is one of the has one of the comprehensive trade library in Malaysia.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of things there, trade statistics, you name it, country profile, products, and also import, export data. So I would like to advise to those who are interested to export, you must do your your research before you export. And this is a place where you have to go, Business Information Center at level 2, Menara MATRADE. And for those who are member, they do not have to pay anything. It's free for member of MATRADE, but for those who are not a member of MATRADE, you have to pay a small fee to enter and to get the information. And we have a lot of things there where you need to really do research before you enter into a country to have business with them. You have to need at least the culture of the country and also the products that being imported into the country. You have to realize, you have to know all that before you start to export into that country.
Yeah, basically there is no reason at all why you should not actually register with MATRADE. There are so many benefits. Okay, the reports over there, if you go to online, you want to buy one market research report, it will cost you several thousand ringgit, but you go to MATRADE, you can look at it free. So that is the best benefit that I have personally gained. Now, let's go to the time is short. Now, let me go to the last question to Sean over here. Now, right now, in this Malaysia and this new economy, okay, e-commerce is certainly the key driving force for our economy as well. Okay, as you mentioned, we are going through the Industrial Revolution 4.0, and global data reported that Malaysia e-commerce value at about 30.2 billion in 2020 and expected to grow to 51.6 billion in 2024. But this is just referring to the consumption. But what about the cross-border e-commerce? How successful is Malaysian exporters in the cross-border e-commerce? Maybe you can share a bit with us, Sean.
Yeah, cross-border e-commerce is very important, and it is supported by National E-commerce Strategic Roadmap and the National Trade Blueprint 2021. So MATRADE is encourage cross-border e-commerce through various promotional programs. The most famous one is e-trade. You know, e-trade is involved in company listing in selected and prestigious platform in the marketplace. And currently, there are 3,358 companies has benefited from the e-trade, and they have achieved export sales of 337.3 million ringgit.
Oh, okay.
And their export market is to US, Middle East, Singapore, and Cambodia. And the products that involve are furniture, food, plastic, wood, rubber, and others.
So would all this through cross-border e-commerce as
yes,
well?
Yes,
okay.
yes. So this is what MATRADE have do to encourage e-commerce with positive results.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I have been looking at my phone. No, I'm not waiting for my girlfriend or my wife to call me, but I'm looking at the potential questions from the participants. Yet I have not. Right now I have received one question over here. Let me get some questions from the participants over here. Now, let me see. Now, this is from Mr. How Kok Kiat. How Kok Kiat asks actually, what about if we import from overseas? Okay, can we check the seller details in from MATRADE? So this is referring that if we wanted to import materials from the overseas, would our SMEs able to use MATRADE services to check their background of these exporters from other countries? Because MATRADE is export. So maybe Puan Azima?
I think for that, you have to go to a proper channel where you can check it at the country. They have their trade office as well. Trade office as well in Malaysia. So you can check with the country's trade office in Malaysia.
Now,
at the kedutaan.
Betul. For example, Jetro. Okay. For example, Jetro. So if let's say, for example, if your supplier is from Japan, okay, it's from Japan. So what you can do is actually you can go and approach Jetro to get some information about this company, and so that you can be sure that you have a good partnership for the long-term relationship in the business and so forth. Now, the time already quite short. Thank you very much, Puan Azima and Sean. It has been a very, very fruitful discussion. We definitely we're gonna have more programs together to reach out to the SMEs. We really, really need your services, need your programs, and hope that MATRADE will be able to grow our Malaysian export much better than our neighboring countries very, very soon. Thank you very much, Puan Azima, and thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Mr. Yap.
Thank you,
Mr. Yap.
Thank you. Now, thank you very much. So that was the session 2. That was the session 2. So, that was the session 1. That was session 1. Now, before we move to the session 2, okay, what we would actually do is that we would have a lucky draw. Okay, basically, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your time to participate in this program. And for those who have registered for this program, we have in every session, we have selected the lucky winner. So I'm waiting for my colleague to send me who will be the lucky winner over here. Okay, I just received it. Now, first would be Min Lee T. Okay, Min Lee T. Second would be Nurul Jana Abdullah. Okay, third will be Muhammad Azham Zamiri. Now, what you need to do something because we need to ensure that you are here. So, what you need to do is that you need to tell us that you are here by typing in the chat room. You type, the time to export is now. The time to export is now. Type it there, and then you send your particulars to the email that has been stated in the chat room, and we shall arrange the gift, which is a very, very nice bag. I do not have it with me right now. Later I will show it. So please put in the time to export is now to ensure that you are here. Now, thank you very much. That would be the end of the first session. Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Today, there's a lot of the uncertainty in the global market. The world's politics, public health, and the competition among the economic giants have much influence to the global export market. Now, we have our COVID-19 pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine war, the US-China competition, the new RCEP, and recently, the Shanghai, busiest port in the world, right now under lockdown, affected a lot of the supply chain. Now, does all of these changes and uncertainties really offer Malaysia's threat? Or maybe it is an opportunity, we do not know. Okay, in this second session of the web forum, we'll be talking about the global market outlook and the trade solutions. We shall have a macro view on the world economy as well as the financial solutions, which is available for us to reap the benefit from the global trend. Now, it's not easy, but we managed to invite very, very senior members of the panelists over here. Okay, over here, when we say senior, doesn't mean that they're senior in age. Okay, basically senior in terms of experience. Okay, don't get me wrong over here. Now, let me introduce to our panelists today. Now, first we have Encik Suhaimi Ilyas, the Group Chief Economist, okay, of the Maybank Investment Bank, Berhad, who will be sharing with us on some of the insights of the global market outlook. Second, we have Encik Ismail Harun, okay, Head of the Corporate and Investment Banking, Maybank Islamic Bank, Berhad, who will be sharing with us on the potential of the halal industry. Okay, and also through online, we have Pak Mario Albert Utama, the global head of the product global banking, Maybank Berhad, which is going to share with us the important trade terms and payment where all the exporters must know, because when we do trade, it's not only about the products and services, but how are you going to manage your cash, your financing. That's very important as well. So Pak Mario will be joining us online. Welcome very much, Pak Mario. We are going to let the panelists to share their views first. What we're going to do is very, very different over here. We're going to let our panelists to share their views on their respective areas before we have a dialogue together. Now, let's start with Encik Suhaimi. Now, Suhaimi, let's start with you. Very, very briefly, okay, if possible, okay, time is short, within 5 minutes or so, please share with us some insights of the global trade outlook.
Thanks, Katie. I think with regards to global trade outlook, maybe it's instructive for me to start with the overall Malaysian economic outlook as well as the global scenario that we are facing. I think from Malaysia's economy perspective, we are looking at a relatively better year this year growth-wise.
Definitely.
We are looking at 5% growth around there.
Okay.
Compared with last year, what I call underwhelming recovery of 3% after the economy went into recession in 2020. Why we are taking that view, it's very simple, because this year onwards, we expect what I call sustained full opening of the economy.
Okay.
Which, as you know, at the beginning of this month, we have the latest development in terms of the reopening of the international borders.
Yeah.
And I think this is better than what we experienced last 2 years. It was a case of in and out of lockdown, in and out of lockdown.
It's the
Very
in and
disruptive.
out that affected the business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this is important because clearly what's happening now is we are moving to the endemic stage from the pandemic phase of COVID-19, and this is due to the progress and success of vaccinations. And at the same time, the government want to ensure the recovery process continues to help us register stronger growth. So we'll have a pro-growth, pro-recovery policy. Just to give you an example, we don't expect Bank Negara to what you call a move along with US Federal Reserve in raising interest rate now.
Yeah.
So we think Bank Negara will be more patient.
Okay.
They will take their time, and we only expect interest rate in Malaysia to only start rising late this year.
Okay.
Not so early.
Good news. Good news for the SMEs.
So I think that's important. And because of that reopening of the economy, positive support from policy, it should be good for especially long-suffering services sector, especially those tourism, travel-related one, with the opening of the economy. Consumer spending also, I think, will be one of the key driver of the economy, domestic economy. But on the global environment, as we know, it has been challenging for quite a number of years already.
Yep.
Beginning with during the time of Trump presidency, we had the scare about US-China trade war, and then we have pandemic. Now we have Russia-Ukraine war. So I think that dynamic is still there. To be honest, we are looking at slower global economic growth this year.
Slower.
Yeah, I mean from even yesterday, IMF actually cut the global growth forecast to 3.6%.
Oh.
From 4.4% earlier.
Okay.
So that's down from last year's growth of about 6%.
Wow.
And obviously the reason for this is due to the concern about a possible slowdown in US economy because of the aggressive interest rate hike there. And then we have Russia-Ukraine war. And then we have China that is still adopting zero COVID-19 policy. They're still doing lockdown.
Yeah.
So that affect the key export market for us, i.e. US, China,
Which is the
and
top
Europe.
three. Yeah.
Yeah, the top three. But I think as far as global trade is concerned, it will still grow. It's just that the pace of growth will be slower, maybe around 5% this year from 10% last year, which is, I guess, would still be positive for the economy in terms of ensuring there is still like export growth as far as the economy is concerned. Certainly, certain aspect or outcome of events like Russia-Ukraine war that causing commodity prices to go up benefit us because we are commodity exporters.
Okay.
But it does create a flip side in terms of concern over inflationary pressures.
Yeah.
And these are one of those grey areas as far as economic outlook is concerned, because there are things like supply chain disruptions, bottlenecks, constraint, labor market in terms of foreign worker shortage, minimum wage hike, and needless to say, domestic politics.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also want to touch briefly on ringgit-dollar exchange rate because obviously exporter will be interested in on that topic too. We think for the time being, next few months, ringgit-dollar would still be hovering around this 420, 430 range.
Okay.
Because right now, because of the external uncertainty, there is this what I call flight to safe haven assets and currencies like US dollar and gold that is priced in US dollar following the war. And of course, I think our currency also to some extent is affected by our domestic political situation until that clear up.
Correct.
Hopefully after the next
the confidence
general
of the
election.
investor is not there.
But having said that, we do expect ringgit to end this year slightly better at 415, and maybe next year would improve further at 4.08 by the end of next year, because ultimately, I think the fundamental of the economy is still there. We are a straight surplus countries. Our external reserve is high. We, as I said, being a net commodity exporter, we benefit from that, and our analysis also suggests that historically every 10% increase in crude oil price can boost our currency against dollar by 0.5%.
Oh, okay.
So I think that factor is still there.
Okay.
And lastly, maybe it would be good also for me to touch a bit about opportunities and challenges
That is
facing
very important. That's what we
businesses.
want the SMEs to know more from you.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, of course, the interest is always about growth.
Mm.
What's the growth landscape outlook going to look like? I would say, given the eventful 4 or 5 years that we had, especially given the risk event like US-China trade tension, pandemic, and now war, I think the saying goes, amid risk, there are opportunities. And I think from the perspective of what has happened over the last 4 or 5 years, one key development I think that's going to be quite important for growth outlook and export outlook going forward is our ratification of Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP. I think that's going to be important driver to our economic growth because, let's face it, we are a small economy, only 32 million people.
Correct.
And trade has been a long-term strategy for us in terms of development and economic growth.
Yeah.
It won't go away. And RCEP provide us with a huge market, 30% of world population, 30% of world GDP.
Yeah, 15 countries,
Yes.
2.2 billion
Yes.
of a population. But the thing is that, let me ask you about that. Since you mentioned about the RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Now, I asked this in the previous session to MATRADE. Now, a lot of the SMEs still have some concern because it will be an open market. It will be an open market. Some would say that it is a threat. Some say that it's an opportunity because bigger market. But we might not be. Some say that we might not be as competitive as the other countries. Other countries might throw price and so forth. So what do you think about what's your opinion about the survivability of the SMEs and the opportunity of the SMEs in this RCEP?
You know, I think that is why we are in this from the very beginning, from the process of negotiation, talks to come up with the terms and conditions of Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP. By being early in there, we can put forth our concern.
Yes.
And negotiate in such a way that we will be able to provide some level of protection for the SMEs, some carve-outs, make sure that we are able to adjust given time to the challenges that come along with the RCEP because of the opening of our markets. But bear in mind also there is opportunity because other countries also have to open their markets.
Yep.
So that's how it works. And I think as far as businesses, especially SMEs, are concerned, engage with MATRADE, with MITI, because these are the guys who were very involved in the discussion, the negotiation on RCEP early on. So they know what's the issue are. I think they will be able to then guide you through the process. So I think this regional trade bloc is very important.
Okay.
Dynamics for growth going forward. And what we learned from pandemic is that there's going to be a lot of technology adoption and applications going forward. So I think with all this industry 4.0, automation, digitalization, 5G, it presents opportunity for people, for businesses to improve their productivity and hence boost competitiveness.
But yet a lot of policies in place, but in terms of executions, there are still many concerns that whether all this policy, all this program would turn into real actions. That would be the key concern of the SMEs. But let us move to Ismail first. Okay, now we know about the global trade outlook. Let's talk about the global halal market. Now, Malaysia, I believe that we have been well positioned as the global halal hub. What do you have to share with us in terms of the global halal market? Ismail.
Thank you, Casey. I think please allow me to start by giving a quick snapshot of the halal industry itself. So naturally, halal industry has been well supported by the growing Muslim population, worldwide. So in terms of global Muslim population, it is expected to grow to about 2.2 billion by 2030. And interestingly, I think around 67% of the population would actually comes from the Asia-Pacific region.
Oh,
all right?
Okay.
So that is very important. But I think what I would like to emphasize is when it comes to halal, all right, it's becoming more universal. So halal by itself is non-exclusive to Muslim.
Yeah.
That is very important. We have to acknowledge that. As a matter of fact, if you look at today's trend, all right, halal has been well received or well accepted, even by the non-Muslim countries and non-Muslim consumers.
Okay.
Right. As a matter of fact, it's quite interesting when I read some of the articles. Some of the non-Muslim consumers are actually associating halal with ethical consumerism.
Okay, ethical consumerism.
Because of the the basic principles of values promoted by halal, right? So in terms of values promoted by halal, that will include social responsibility, social economic justice. It would be it also involves stewardship of the environment, of the earth.
It sounds like what we
and it's so
discussed just now
diverse.
with MATRADE, that something to do with the sustainability that
Exactly,
the UN
exactly.
is promoting. Yeah.
So there are a lot of similarities or
Yeah.
parallel, all right, between sustainability, ESG, as well as the fundamentals of halal.
Yeah.
So that is very important. So as we see a lot more convergence between the two, I think that would be another growth factor, all right, that will support the growth of the global halal industry. So that's one. So in 2020, our total halal exports was about 30.5 billion. That was about 25% lower compared to pre-pandemic level. But
25% lower.
25% lower. All right. But what is most important is the growth prospect. All right. I think it's commonly known that halal industry has been identified as one of the strategic and high impact sector under the 12th Malaysia Plan.
Yep.
Right. So in terms of total halal industry itself, in terms of value, it is expected to contribute to about 11%, all right, to our country's GDP by 2030.
So 11% of the GDP from halal market.
From halal market.
Okay.
Right. And in terms of export, all right, we're expected to reach about 56 billion by 2025 and around 70 billion by 2030. All right. So there's huge potential
yeah,
for halal.
right.
All right. Even in domestic market as well as in export markets. Right. So if you look at our top 10 halal destinations, obviously, it's currently led by, Singapore, China, and the US. All right. But if you look at the remaining of the list, all right, I think Thailand and Indonesia are strongly catching up. All right.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of growth. All right.
Yeah, that's the key thing that we also wanted to know, is that because we are growing, are we growing as fast as our neighboring countries? Yeah.
We are definitely poised to position ourselves as as one of the global leading halal hub. All right. But unfortunately, like what Suhaimi said, all right, we are a trading nation. All right.
Yeah.
Our local economy, our local population is very small.
Yeah.
So it's very important for us to look around
Yeah,
and
of course.
actually, expand our market space.
All
All right. But I don't think you need to go far. All right. If you look at ASEAN population, right, I think ASEAN by itself presents is the third largest consumer market in the world. All right. If you look geographically, all right, Malaysia is not only centered in the heart of ASEAN, but also flanked by two of the largest markets, China and India.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
All right.
So the whole Asia Pacific population, all right, will contribute about 67% of the global Muslim population. All right, and it is a huge market.
Yeah.
Right. So I strongly believe that that there's a huge potential for Malaysia, all right, to be the center of the global halal hub, as well as for our local players, all right, to actually tap on this growth potential.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, the thing is that, as I asked just now, we cannot be overconfident on our achievement. Now, we have our neighboring countries, the market is opening. In your opinion, what can or what should the Malaysian exporters do differently to capture this huge market in comparison to our neighboring countries? Like, for example, I always see that I will always go to ThaiFex. Okay, the Thailand is moving very, very fast.
Yeah.
The Indonesian market, they have their own billions of the
Huge
market,
domestic
huge
market.
market. Okay, so what being Malaysia as a small market, what should or what can the SMEs do differently to better capture a bigger market share from this potential halal market?
Yeah, I think in terms of halal industry, yes, we're seeing a bit more or faster tractions, all right, from our neighboring countries, especially Indonesia and Thailand, right? For obvious reasons. One is because obviously they have a bigger domestic market, and number two, traditionally, all right, that they themselves are actually huge producers of food-based products, industrial products, and so on, right? So that actually put them in a better position compared to Malaysia, all right? But what is most important is when it comes to Malaysia, we do have our own niche. As a matter of fact, Malaysia was the pioneer of halal industry.
Yes.
All right, since the 1970s.
Correct.
Yeah, and if you look at Jakim's halal certification, for example, all right, it is one of the most recognized globally.
Globally, yes, correct.
Right? Everybody is chasing for Jakim's halal certificate.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, we are not only talking about other halal international bodies, but we are also talking about MNCs. All right, the likes of Nestle, for example, Colgate-Palmolive, Unilever. All right, all of them are actually using Jakim's halal certification. So I believe that our SMEs, all right, has to use Jakim's halal certification as a unified, all right, a branding for Malaysian halal products.
Okay.
Right, because leveraging on that halal certification itself, all right, it will give you access to a lot of markets, because Jakim's halal certification, right, is recognized in over 40 countries, and it is widely known, widely recognized, and as a matter of fact, even the other international halal certification bodies are actually
seeking advice from Jakim as well.
It's not only seeking advice; they want to be recognized by Jakim.
Oh,
right?
want to be
Jakim
recognized
does
by
have a
Jakim.
program,
Their mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jakim, they do have their own program, all right, to recognize international halal certification bodies.
Okay.
All right. So I think today more than 50 halal certification bodies are actually registered. All right. Under Jakim.
Under Jakim.
With
Okay.
Jakim. All right. So I guess that is one. It's very important. So when it comes to products from Malaysia, right, our Malaysian halal logo by itself is a strength.
Yep.
It's a strength.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
So number two, all right, I strongly believe that for our SMEs, all right, they need to focus on their niche product and branding. That is very, very important as well.
More than the branding, more than the niche product, but also to be able to grow the market, I think the financial element is very important as well. Now, let's move to Pak Mario. Now, Pak Mario joining us online right now. Okay, hi, Pak Mario.
Hi.
Now,
Hi everyone.
yeah, thank you
Can
for
you hear
being
us?
with us. I know that you're in Singapore right now. Now, many of the SMEs are in a good product manufacturing as well as the export promotion. Malaysia, I can say that we did quite well. We're doing quite well. But from my understanding, trade terms and trade facilities are important element in making sure that we can profit from export. Well, you can sell a lot, but are you making profit or not? Please share with us what are the essential financial tools where the Malaysian exporters should really take note. Okay, because if we do not know how to manage our finance, we won't be able to have a very successful business, not to mention to export overseas, whereby there will be a lot of the external factors affecting us. So maybe, Pak Mario, you can share some of the trade terms or payments and so forth with the SMEs.
Thank you, Katie. So yeah, you're right. Definitely, especially during the last 2 years, right? We've been facing a lot of these issues on the pandemic. People are seeing that delayed payments from their buyers. A lot of things are being pressure on the cash flows. So it's important for the SMEs to understand, right, how to remain competitive, especially on the pricing. How do they able to leverage the trade finance instruments to better sell their products across the region. So for me, of course, cash is king, right? So if SMEs is able to get advance payments from their buyers, that, if like earlier my colleague says, if you are in a unique position, definitely that's a way to negotiate for you to get cash right upfront before you deliver your goods. In the event that you are not able to get that advantage, then you have to look at how do you want to secure your exports. And securing exports, there are a couple of ways. First of all, the very traditional ways is going through the documentary credit, what we call LCs, right? Using LCs means that you are leveraging the bank's risk, right? So you will be getting an LC as an exporter. You will receive an LCs from your buyers, and all these are governed by international laws, and it's very clear how do you want to deal in an LC. As long as you present the documents according to the LC terms, your payment is secure, right? So you don't have to worry about the payment risk. And of course, the best way is once you receive an LC, when you negotiate an LC, you engage with a banker or engage with your banks to understand whether the workability of the LC terms is therefore in your favor, right? Beyond LC, of course, you can also do a documentary collection, right? So again, a document collection is not an LC, but you manage to leverage on the rules like URC 522 rules, right, where you can send all your shipping documents through a bank, right? So the bank will hold on to the shipping documents, and they will only release the shipping documents against a payment or against an acceptance to pay, right? So all that is somehow being able to help SMEs to get very competitive financing, yeah, especially you are doing this against a bank risk. So for example, if you want to provide the terms payment, right, for your buyer, let's say the buyer is not willing to give you cash, is not willing to pay you at site, right? You can arrange a deferred payment, right? Using a deferred payment, you will not leveraging your own risk, but you will be able to discount your documents against the issuing bank's risk. That will create a lot of competitiveness because it's not a corporate risk anymore. Now we are looking at the payment risk against an issuing bank, right? So you will be able to reach out to your banks to say that, can I negotiate this acceptance that is being accepted by the issuing banks, right?
Yeah.
With a reputable bank, you can get very competitive pricing. Yeah, so those are the two elements that from a documentary credit, documentary collections, that can create a lot of leverage on the pricing. The last one is, of course, if you're looking at more, if your supply chain it requires to go through the domestic market, right? Then we can actually look at supply chain financing program and early payment programs. There are many MNCs today, they provide early payments financing program cross-border, right? Recently, we have discussion with is very large global food and beverage company, right? And they have their buyings across in Asia, right? In Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia. So they create programs where they are able to allow their suppliers, which is the exporters of, let's say, Malaysia, right, to be able to get an early payment against their the payment risk of these big major MNCs, right? That will create another potential competitiveness. Yeah. So again, you're not going to, the SMEs are not leveraging their own credit standing. Now they are leveraging the credit standing of an issuing bank or as their MNC corporate buyers. So those are the basic sort of tools and instruments that SMEs can explore, right? It's best, of course, we do have the universal bankers across all our Maybank branches. Feel free to talk to our universal bankers. They will provide you with all the solutions, including in the flow side, on the foreign exchange, right? If you're dealing with different currencies, right? I think today we hear that what is the price level on the ringgit US dollar from our Suhaimi in terms of what 4.08 going forward in the next couple of months or early next year. So and on the open account, we can also explore, for example, the international factoring, right? So you can reach out to the factoring house to have buyers, guaranteeing those payments on the import factors and the export factors as well to come into play. So again, there are various solutions that the SMEs actually can leverage.
Yeah. But that's why that for SMEs, most of the SMEs, they are small scale in terms of their operation. they might not even have their finance manager. They might have an account executive or account manager. Doing all this selecting all these solutions, whether it is overdraft, term loan, invoice financing, or LC and so forth. These are the most common ones that they know. But how should they actually select the right tool? Is there any, just give us one or two tips in terms of selecting a financial tool. Any example?
Okay, I mean, just going back again, right, to the documentary trade, right? So if you're presenting the documents, your export documents through the LCs, right, then basically you going back into the, you can get a clean export negotiation, right? But the best thing is to actually have this discussion with MATRADE, right? I'm sure that there'll be a session, workshop to advise SMEs, right, how to use financial instruments in their favor, right, to promote the exports, and of course to provide the necessary terms of payments, right, to the buyers. Yeah, terms of payments is very essential again, in this pandemic or post-pandemic endemic crisis situation, and can we now facing with the commodity prices. So it's a struggle between the buyer and the seller, right? And we need to come into the middle ground. And these traditional documentary trade solutions or financial instruments are the perfect solutions, yeah, to do that. I do have come across in my life, right, in my previous experience, a lot of this has been used by the Indian exporters. They are very good in using LCs. Yeah, they are very good in using LCs, and they are using LCs to get very competitive pricing on the discounting and the financing, right? You're talking about, if you are discounting against a reputable global bank, you are looking at, a sub 1% pricing. Right? That's 1% in US dollar pricing for discounting, right? So that's why, you don't leverage your own credit risk. If you don't have that financial standing, you try to leverage the credit standing of a bank, you try to leverage the credit standing of your buyer, right, to get that financing advantage, right? Then if you talk about the documentary collection, right, you can get your acceptance to be analyzed, means that there is a confirmation, right, by the buyer's bank that they will pay against the bill that they have accepted to pay, right, as the
Today I have learned a lot
documentary
from
against
you.
a.
Yeah, today I have learned a lot from you, Pak Mario. Now, I hope that Pak Mario, your team can actually put down some of the, if they need such advice, where can they actually seek this advice? Maybe your colleague can actually put some notes in the chat box so that the SMEs will know where to go on that. Let's come back to Suhaimi first. Now, Malaysia has been strong. Just now, Ismail mentioned that, okay, halal market, and also in Malaysia, export, E&E is the biggest chunk of it. Now, beside E&E and halal market, what would be the other sectors do you think that Malaysia has the greatest potential to win over the other neighboring countries?
I think if one way of looking at it, I suppose, is looking at what are the so-called strategic high-impact industries that the government has identified to be promoted under the 12 Malaysian Plan period, all the way to 2025. So I think besides E&E and
automotive,
halal,
aerospace,
global
healthcare,
services, healthcare, tourism, so and creative industry, I think, is also something that the government is looking at and trying to promote. So and I would also take the view that another thing is that I think business also must prepare going forward, and either adapt or take opportunity from is the need for us to accept the fact that going forward we have to make our economy, our business green, more sustainable. I think it's because we have a role to play in terms of helping the country to achieve the carbon emission reduction, to meet our targets in addressing the climate change issue. And some sectors, some industry in the economy are already moving, like especially energy. Because I think by 2030, 2035, I think like 40% of our electricity generating capacity would be based on renewable stuff, solar, bioenergy, hydro, and all that. And think about it. Those SMEs that are in the supply chain of automotive industries must adjust with the new reality of industry going to electric vehicles because they're moving away from internal combustion engine vehicles.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of dynamics going on in many industries, including like what Ismail said just now about halal, and all that. So I think SMEs must be aware of all this. And like I said, always engage with the likes of MITI and MATRADE.
Because the SMEs are always too busy with their present operations that a lot of them have not put enough attention towards the global outlook and also the trend. That's why that today we have this discussion today, because it's very, very important for the SMEs to also recognize what is the trend coming along, what is the demand of the world market, and so forth. Now, Ismail, I want to ask you this question in terms of the this is just a scenario that I heard from the business friends. Let me ask this question, see what can you share with me. Now, some of the business friends actually shared with me that there are quite a number of countries, including China, Korea, Japan, and so forth, uses Malaysia as a transit, okay, to be recognized as halal, okay, and then Malaysia import, and then repack, and then export again, okay. Do you think this practice would be doing good for Malaysian SMEs in the long run? Because then would it affect the local manufactured or local produced halal products and services, and why?
I think there's no harm in in engaging into such activities, because in essence that is what being an international
hub, right?
halal hub is all about.
Yeah.
All right. What is more important is for our SMEs, right, to be actively in the lookout, to look for opportunities as to how they can be part of the ecosystem. Right?
Yeah.
Because when you talk about repackaging, all right, in essence there are some value add activities, all right, to the whole process.
Yep.
And that requires support from the local players, right? From the local industry players. I think that's the area where, like I said, all right, I know that most of our micros and SMEs are a bunch of hardworking people.
Yeah.
All right. They get their heads down, focus on what they need to do, and really strive to make their business better.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's also important for you to take a pause, to be in the lookout. All right. Actually, apart from that, there are a lot of opportunities out there, right? Opportunities from the perspective of incentives, so for example, right, from the government, relevant government agencies, even banks, all right? For Maybank Islamic, for example, we have launched a few programs in order to support our local SMEs.
Okay.
Right, we have one program where we try to help our local SMEs to expand their market space. By bringing their products, all right, to Singapore.
Oh,
right, because we do have a partner in Singapore, who is a retailer. So we have onboarded some of the SMEs, and the idea is for us to help them to bring their products to a new export market.
Yeah, this is very similar to what I heard is that, like, for example, we have international events like, let's say, World Expo, Olympic, and so forth. And these are an important events that Malaysian exporters, especially the halal side, have a very good market that if we can actually supply our food and the products over there, the world is going to the event.
That's how you get
this is
the
where
prominence, right?
Yeah, correct. And then that's where the exposure, the branding, the potential shares will be coming from there.
Definitely.
That's very good. Now, let's go back to Pak Mario. Pak Mario, the thing is that, okay, like today, we have, okay, I'm sorry, I'm very, despite that I come from bank as well, but I'm in marketing. Okay, now, today we have the Maybank Islamic and Maybank. Okay, now, can you just briefly just share with us what's the difference between the conventional and the Islamic trade solutions? Maybe you can share with us.
Well, I guess it's the precepts, right? So on the Islamic finance is on the precept of the Sharia compliance to the Halal concept, right? For example, there is no interest element, right? We talk about profit, right? In terms of, no riba, right? So all that is considered to be almost, you need to have an underlying to do an Islamic transaction, right? It's not on the money base. In the more conventional way, is the bank give you the money, you will do whatever with the money, right? In Islamic is you do need to have the underlying transaction. For example, you do a murabaha where the bank is actually buying the goods on your behalf and then selling the goods to you on a deferred payment basis. So it's close to what I guess earlier someone was talking about, the ethical aspect of the financing, right? So over there, we really know that what is being spent, what is being used is really to support an underlying transaction. Well, trade finance is very close to Islamic finance in a sense. Trade finance is not just your overdraft, right? Because you need to have an underlying in order for you to do a transaction, in order to you to finance it. And that's where I always deem, right, trade finance is very, very, very Sharia compliant. Because you have, of course, in the Sharia context, you need to be able to also have the goods to be halal, right?
Yep.
You will not be able to, let's say, use a Islamic finance product to import that is a goods that is non-halal. For example, tobacco is not something that we want to do under Islamic product. So
Yep.
they are from a concept perspective, it's really, again, it's subject to the precepts of Sharia in terms of trying to do the financing, in a more ethical, social manner from that perspective.
Okay, cool.
So eliminating all the ribas and certainty of payments and profits.
Great, great. Thank you for your explanation. Now, I have just received some questions over here. Maybe some of the panelists over can help. One of the questions over here, it mentions that maybe this just behind me. Just wondering, this is from Jasli Yana Samsudin. Okay, just wondering, the currency exchange rate value for today kind of high compared to the last 2 years because of the global issue that has been mentioned just now. Will the value keep on increasing or value may be decreased? Wow, very specific. Next week.
Well, that's more of a speculation.
Yeah. I don't know how you would answer that.
I think, as I mentioned in earlier, can't really say what's going to happen next week. But we take the view that by the end of this year, there should be improvement in the level of ringgit against dollar.
Yeah.
From where it is now, I think it's around 425, 430. I think we do expect it to improve to around 415. And the reason, because by late this year, Bank Negara would start raising interest rates.
Yeah.
So the issue of the gap between Malaysia's interest rate and US interest rate that is currently perhaps contributing to that problem of ringgit value is high.
Okay.
Will be addressed.
Yeah.
And we do expect the differences in interest rate cycle between Malaysia and US would be addressed by late this year. So that will provide a reason for ringgit to stabilize. And as I said, we're still looking at generally an environment of high commodity price. I think that would tend to have a positive impact on the ringgit of the currency of any net commodity exporters, not just Malaysia. You'll be the same in the case of Canada, Australia, Indonesia, and so on. Lastly, I mean, needless to say, the reason why ringgit is where it is now is partly due to politics. So hopefully,
we all are praying for that.
You're praying for, I suppose, a sense of normal. I mean, what you call a stability. After this, and that will also help improve sentiment on ringgit.
Okay, I have a last question over here because time are very limited. Last question. This question will be to Ismail. This is from Encik Muhammad. how about Halal Jakim? Is it still recognized by GCC countries? I'm not too sure whether you'll be able to answer that or not. I'm not too sure because Ismail is not from Jakim. But are you able to answer that or not? Is Jakim still recognized by GCC countries?
That, as far as I know, most of the GCC countries do recognize Jakim's Halal certificate, right? Like I said before, right? Jakim's Halal certificate is recognized in over 40 countries, including non-Muslim countries like China, Japan, Korea, amongst others. So I hope I answered the question, but maybe we need to validate against
the rightful agency. Okay. Now, because due to time concern, right now is already 10 minutes past 4. Now, thank you very much, Pak Mario. Thank you very much from Singapore, Ismail and also Suhaimi.
Pleasure.
Now, before we end the session, what we're going to do is that we are going to choose another 3 lucky winners to receive a gift from the Maybank side. Basically, it is a backpack, very, very nice backpack. I have asked for one already. And also a very good power bank as well. Now, the winners will be just received over here. Let me have a look. B Shuang from the Kima Oil Palm Transport. Then Ahmad Nasaruddin from Diversertech, okay, and Hazwani from the Bariam Salat. I repeat, Biswang, Ahmad Nasaruddin, and also Hazwani. Okay, now again, you need to work. Okay, what you need to do is that you need to actually prove that you are still with us. You need to prove that you're still with us. So right now, what you need to do is that you need to type into the chat box, maximizing SME potential. Okay, this is what Bizsphere always believe. We always maximize the SME potential. So you just need to type in this maximizing SME potential into the chat box. And then you will need to actually email your particulars to the email that has been stated into the chat box. So congratulations to 3 of you, and that will be the end of the session 2. And we will have a break for 2 minutes, and we will come back very soon with the stories of a lot of the very experienced exporters. Don't go away, or maybe you should go away for 2 minutes, come back. Okay? Thank you very much.
What is our time on earth for? Blessed are we in lands of rich greenery, full of life and opportunity, where our responsibility is to make time. The time to lead the way for prosperity. The time to lead the way for society. The time to lead the way for Mother Earth. We make the time to do the right thing for a future that's fully inclusive and to leave no one behind. To share the prosperity for greater unity in our diversity. To elevate society by bridging the financial divide with easy access to financial facilities for all. Make time to innovate for humanity. Our solutions and initiatives are investments in a future sustainable for each and every one of us. Everything that we do and stand for is for humanity. For when we humanize how we do business, we're continuously making time for good a reality.
today we have 4 panelists over here, 3 gentlemen and a lovely lady over that side. Now, let me introduce you to them one by one. Okay. Now, we have Dr. C.K. Yeo, the director of the AXG Industry Strand Berhad. Now, who is AXG? Okay. Later on, you can explain more, but let me just briefly tell you all that AXG is a fast-growing glove manufacturer in Malaysia, specializing in latex and rubber gloves with OEM and private label for export. Okay, their own brand is called AX Glove. Okay, make sure that next time when you go out, look for AX Glove. Okay, doing some promotion for you. Okay, which is marketed worldwide to more than 100 countries. Okay, that's a great success. Now, then we have Mr. Alan Wong. Alan Wong is the director of Venzo Asia Sdn Bhd. Okay, if you drive a car, you should know the brand Venzo. Why? Venzo is a brand of air freshener in Malaysia, but not only air freshener, it is about the sense that smells great, but safer to use as well. Okay, because it is the first Malaysia first certified healthy air freshener. I do not know how healthy is it, but later on maybe Alan you can explain to us on that. Okay, one of the product actually releases 30 million negative ions. What does it mean? Later on you have to explain to me. Sounds a lot. Okay. Now, third we have Mr. Franco Ho. Yes. Okay. Franco, he's the managing director of Teozon Manufacturing Asia Sdn Bhd. Now, many of us maybe, I'm sorry, Franco, maybe many of us doesn't know your company, Teozon Manufacturing, but I'm sure a lot of us actually will know the brand Quantum Ion. I always use mask Quantum Ion, okay, and you can also get it in the retail as well. So, Teozon actually, they used to actually provide the UV products to the health and hospitality industries. But since expanded to the disinfectant solutions, which include cloth face masks, which has earned many certifications from the local and international bodies. And recently, what I heard from Franco, you're also going for green, something that is green technology. Later on, we might discuss if we have time as well.
Okay.
Last but not least, our lovely lady over here, Ruby. Okay, Ruby
That's always the best, right?
Yeah, correct. Now, Ruby is the managing director of the Bobel Asia Pacific. The ladies, you must know Ruby and must know Bobel. Okay, Bobel needs no introduction to the ladies, a brand that promotes inclusive beauty. Okay, where beauty is not only accepted but celebrated and inclusive of every age. So, let's say for example my wife or myself or whoever that your age is a little bit higher, don't worry, you can still be very beautiful. You need not to be young to be beautiful. Okay. Bobel is a Swiss skincare brand. Okay, Bobel Advanced Dermocosmetic Research Center, Switzerland researchers develop and produces its skincare products in Switzerland. Okay, Bobel does not only focus on quality product, but always complement with great facial and body procedures and techniques. Now, again, it's not always, when we do export and so forth, it's not only about our products. How are we going to serve our customers, provide our services is equally important. So let's go on for it now. Before we start the very exciting storytelling, okay, I might not have been able to brief all the participants over here about your company. Now, very short, just 1 minute only. 1 minute, time is short. 1 minute. Please share with us about your brand. What are the products that you're offering? Maybe I didn't cover all. How many percentage of your sales are from export market? And how many countries have your products have exported to? 4 things. Your brand, okay? What are the products? What are the percentage? In which country? Maybe we start with CK.
Yeah. Currently, we are holding the brand called AX Glove. Already nearly 10 years under the trademark register. So we are mainly doing exporting to over 100 countries. Then more than 90% we are doing export.
90% export.
90% export, and our products mainly in the latex and the nitrile examination glove.
So mostly will be going to the this medical side.
Yeah, medical
or-
side.
okay.
Most of my customers are hospitals. Hospitals in the like in the this Kenya, Ghana, even the US and the Europe.
Okay,
Ah.
okay, cool. Now let's go to Alan. What about yourself, Alan?
Okay,
Benzo.
We are basically supplying this healthy and premium air refreshener to the FMCG market. And currently we are quite small because we just started to do export, just 5%.
Okay.
And mainly will be in Singapore, Brunei, and Australia.
Okay. Yeah, but maybe take this opportunity. You still have time. Okay. Take this opportunity to tell us the healthy element in your air freshener.
All our product have been certified by SGS, a company that's saying our product have no harmful chemicals in it. So it will be very safe to use for a long time.
Okay.
So because if you look at the more low premium quality air refreshener, you will find that they will have harmful chemicals such as benzyl and toluene that will be harmful for your body when you use for a long term.
Oh, okay, okay.
So our product will be safe. So it's free from all that.
Okay, cool. Now let's go to Franco.
Hi.
Franco, so tell me about your
My company.
brand. Yeah.
My company is UV. Okay, we focus on UV and quantum technology. So currently we are exporting to 4 countries: Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So mainly about more than 50% of product we're exporting.
Okay.
Okay. At the same time, we're also providing like green energy. So that green energy we only focus at this moment in Thailand. So now we wanted to start in Malaysia.
Okay. From Thailand back to Malaysia.
Right.
Okay. That's good. Always have to contribute to Malaysian economies too.
Yep.
Because just now when we discussed together with the MATRADE, we discussed about the sustainability concept, the ESG and so forth, which I think that this is a growing market. A lot of potential on there.
Yeah, we're looking forward.
Yeah. What about Ruby?
Okay, so as you say, I need no introduction. Yeah, yesterday,
the last the
one
best,
Amira from Maybank, and she happened to be on the line with me. She said, I'm also a user of Bobel,
Okay,
so
okay, good.
fantastic, yeah. Okay, Bo means handsome man like King Teng, okay?
Oh, thank you very much.
And Bell, adds, he said lovely lady, okay? So
Okay.
beautiful lady. So Bobel is actually for men and women.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we advocate like age joyfully, because age is just evident, it's just a number, okay? Yeah. So for Bobel, we use clinically tested active ingredients, And for 20 over years, I've been in this industry. So, we have actually learned the expertise of coming out with really good formulations, to treat different kinds of skin conditions.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and just recently, we also opened a salon, a flagship salon in Hatama Shopping Center, because products are just products. People might not be able to experience it.
How to use it? Yeah.
Yes, and then we want them to experience it. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's why we set up a flagship salon in Hatama Shopping Center on the ground floor for people to experience the total wellness concept, that we are advocating. Yeah. So the inside out. Yeah. And not just only skincare that you put on the surface of the skin. Yeah.
Okay.
So Bobel, we have been exporting to about 30 over countries now.
Wow, okay.
So monthly, we have active countries that are importing from us. It's about 20 over countries. All right. And some, they will bring one whole shipment, just like Kuwait, will bring one whole shipment, and then 1 year 2 times, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, our export market is about 80 to 90%.
Okay.
Yes,
That's big.
yeah.
That's big. Now I'm not too sure whether I should let my wife know about Bobel or not.
Maybe she already knows.
Yeah, I do not know. I do not know. Okay. Let's talk about it after we end the show. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, this will be a very exciting session because why I always like to hear the stories of the exporters. Now, let's start with CK. Now, CK, we have some chat before this.
Yeah.
The thing is that for the company that manufacture glove, okay, always is that the volume, reputation, certification, the production capacity and capability.
Yeah.
These are the common selection criteria for a lot of the buyers, local and overseas, when it comes to glove products. Now, I heard that AGX is being one of the smallest manufacturers in Malaysia. Okay, I'm not too sure. Maybe you're too humble. Okay, but how could you actually thrive and secure market from over 100 countries when you are that small? Would it be that you'll be at the disadvantage compared to the big brothers, not only in Malaysia but other countries? Maybe you could share your experience that how being small able to also grow big, because in Malaysia there are so many of the SMEs having great products, having great services, but yet they are unable actually to penetrate a lot of market. Even if they did, some of them might not be sustainable. We would like to hear your story.
Actually, it's true that a small company is really difficult to sustain the company when you are small. When you are small, it's not that easy to grow big. So what I can see in the past 10-20 years when I was started this company, I also never expected today's my company can grow until 100 country. You know, my revenue can achieve so much. I never expected. The thing is, we must keep going. What I can see, don't give up so easily. Don't give up so easily, and continue your story. And you see, in my mind, I never have a full stop. There's a comma. There's only a comma to continue my story.
It's always a journey.
Yeah, it's always a journey. That's why most of the new companies, small company, when they come across a problem, especially cash flow issue, I believe most of the SME having this kind of the same problem. When they have to be honest and tell their bankers, like tell the Maybank what is their actual problem, how the Maybank can support them. That's what we did before. So the bank will come across and support. The most importantly is that we must be honest and tell everything transparency. So let people know what you have and what kind of products you have. Some great product, they can go overseas. I believe there's some of the small company in Malaysia, those SME, they have a very great product, but they have no channel. They have no channel. Then some of them, they don't know. They don't know how to bring the product overseas.
So how do you actually bring your product overseas to the 100 countries?
Actually, this generation, 2022, is much more, we call the technology world. So not like 20 years ago. When 20 years ago, I'm playing ICQ. You remember ICQ?
That's very long.
Very long ago.
That says about your age and mine.
That's why when I talk about ICQ to the young people,
they don't know.
What is that?
Correct.
They don't know.
Yeah.
So it's not that convenient last time. Very difficult to get in touch with the overseas people. ICQ, and we have to fly over. We have to fly over to overseas and meet them face to face. You know, technology not that advanced.
And right now?
So right now technology is very advanced. You just open out Mr. Google. A lot of things you can. So there's a lot of platform.
But will the overseas customer just trust you for being what you claim you are?
No, actually, overseas buyer, they also very smart. Like example, in our industry, when the people they want to buy something from us, it's talking about few $100,000. One container is talking about few $100,000. It can be a scammer. Don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
It can be a scammer. Then I pay the money. Actually, in the pandemic, in the 2020, 2021, when the pandemic attacked the world, most of the scammer also come in. They come in, they start their program. The program how to scam people.
Oh, really?
How to scam people. And you see, example, like one of my buyer from Turkey. They say, CK, I met one supplier. He say he from Malaysia, but the company in Korea, factory in Malaysia. So he asked me, he got me all the pricing, everything. Then okay, then I make the down payment. Not much, $80,000 US dollar.
Not a lot,
ringgit.
a lot.
80,000 US dollar.
Yeah.
Then TT to, if not mistaken, Korea or China,
Okay.
not to Malaysia. Then after that, after a couple of weeks later, the buyer, the Turkey buyer, follow out. How's my shipment? When you were going to ship? Then no one pick up the phone, no
Oh
reply
my
the
God.
email. Then he messaged me. He messaged me. He asked me to help. Okay, maybe go for embassy and how it is and the police station. I said, okay, you give me the details. The phone number is the mobile number. Then address, invalid address.
Oh my God.
Totally cannot.
That's very important. Now, just now when we were actually speaking to the one Azima and also Sean from MATRADE. Now, one of the services for MATRADE is that if, let's say, for example, that you need to actually export your products and services, and there are buyers and so forth, you can actually seek the assistance of the MATRADE, maybe the trade commissions overseas, to do some due diligence to check out whether this company is a real company or not company. So that's why that is very, very important for us to actually get the support from MATRADE as well. No, that's very good because a lot of us I wouldn't say that as Malaysia SME being naive, we are very innocent.
Yeah,
okay,
correct,
we're very
correct,
innocent. And we thought that just producing good products, that everyone will want it.
Yeah.
Okay, but there are a lot of competition.
Yes.
Now, can before I go to Alan later on, I want to know how do you compete with the big brothers?
Big brothers. Actually, get close to the big brother. Don't scare.
Get close to the big brothers. So instead of competing with the big brothers,
be friend
with them,
be brother with them.
Okay.
Like in the I think about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
My first office, my first warehouse, my first factory, just opposite walking distance from the big boy. We call the top 4 company.
Okay.
Top 4 company, just working. So I still remember. One day there's a Malaysia Rubber Council, a group of Malaysia Rubber Council officer came to my office. Then they are much more worried than me.
Why?
They say, CK, we are
Can you
so
survive?
worried. Yeah, exactly. Can you survive or not? Because you are just walking distance.
Yeah.
Like just across the road.
Yeah.
Can you survive or not? You are just a baby. You are just the end. You know.
Yeah.
People say elephant. You know.
Elephant and then
Elephant in the end. You know. Can you survive or not? Then I say I never worry because big boy or small boy, there's no 100%. We say closing power. Every deal come in, definitely there's some deal not mismatch or not suitable. So when the buyer come up from the big brother company, definitely they will look around. So that's my opportunity. I'm just next door. Come here.
Good strategy.
Okay, this strategy reminds me of where I stayed last time. I was staying in Jalan Ipoh area. And many years ago, it's very famous for bridal houses and so forth. All together, they go to that whole street and scout and shop and scout and shop. At the end, they go to the first one, and the last one, then go back to the first one. So there's always like that. Now, that's a very good story because we need not actually have to compete. Okay, in business right now, we need to collaborate. Okay, if there are opportunities to collaborate, that would be a more healthy competition.
Win-win.
Yeah,
win-win business.
Correct. Now, let's go to Alan.
Okay.
Alan, now, I look at the website. I said, wow, this Venso Asia, very branded lah. Yes. Why very branded? The thing is that I can see that Venso actually is embarking into a very aggressive marketing. You know what? Wow, they appoint brand ambassador, and not just a normal brand ambassador like Mr. Yap can take nobody. Not like that. Okay, they actually appoint the international celebrity, Louis Koo from Hong Kong. Gu Tinok. Okay, if any one of y'all know him. Okay, and two or three very pretty YouTuber in Malaysia. Was it? Wow. Okay. Must be spending a lot lah. Okay. Next time should also spend with Bizsphere, because Bizsphere also do strategic brand and marketing. We won't ask you to spend a lot. We will give you a lot of impact. Now, spending so much. Okay. People also, the second thing also is that to market your product, people want smell air freshener. I need to smell fresh. Okay, smell fresh. But to differentiate whether your product is healthy and not healthy, how do I know? I do not know whether it's healthy or not healthy Okay, just like last time people said insurance, I don't know it will happen to me. Same thing. Now, I want to know about your branding and marketing strategy as the healthier brand. What makes you actually decided to go for such aggressive marketing to get a brand ambassador? And how do you actually educate the market in terms of healthier air freshener?
Okay, first marketing. As you can see in Malaysia, air refresheners brands, everybody will know MBPure, Glade. That's the big brothers lah. And when we came out, we are nothing.
Yep.
So that's why we need to have a very strong marketing team. I think something that can let somebody saw us in the market.
Okay.
That's why we always go to KOL, some popular KOL or movie stars. And we also the newest ambassador in Malaysia is Fazura. She's our ambassador now.
Okay.
So because we need the, how to call it, to let people saw us in the market. So that's why we need some popular person, someone who know
to carry the brand.
To carry the brand, correct. Yes, to carry the brand out.
Okay.
And then
has it been fruitful?
Yes, it's been fruitful.
Okay. So meaning that a lot of the people already know Benzo right now.
We just did a survey with our rover team.
Okay.
Around 62% of person know our brand right now in Malaysia.
Okay. Meaning that if we say ask 10 people,
yes,
6 of them would know Benzo.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
10 from 6. For us lah, we just a company that only 3.5 years. It's a very
good.
Yes, very
successful.
good. Very good. Yes.
Yeah, very successful.
So we'll keep on doing that to
Okay.
make sure that everyone will know our brand in the future.
Yeah.
And then
what about the healthy element? How do you educate?
Educate, we basically in internet, of course, platform, all the platform. Also downline, we go do promotions and we will put, like just mentioned, a rover team to let people know that our products will show them and educate them that our product will just not, the importance of healthy. So online, both line, we call it 360 way to educate it.
Integrated brand and marketing, but focus. I see you focus a lot in terms of the online part, the digital side.
Yes, because
digital marketing.
we start from internet. Yeah, we start from online. Yeah.
Okay, good. But then, what about your export market? You mentioned just now that you have exported to Singapore, Brunei, these 2 countries. Has it been very challenging to export to these countries? Now, as I mentioned, a lot of the SMEs getting the first step out from Malaysia. It's not that easy.
Correct.
So you have managed to get 5%. It's good. It's a good start. So what will be the challenges that you have actually experienced?
Challenges will be also back to marketing, because other countries don't know our brand yet.
Okay.
So we need to study their cultures, so we know that what we should do when we want to focus in one country.
Okay.
Because our product is not, it's not essential. It's not like rice or something.
Yep.
So we need to let people know more about our product and what's the special of it. And of course, we need to find out a way, because every country have different cultures.
Correct.
So we need to know their cultures, and then we have a plan to go for it.
Have you been engaging with MATRADE?
Not yet.
Not yet. Now, if let's say, for example, Benzo Asia Alan, if she starts to engage with MATRADE, right after today, you need to engage with MATRADE.
Right.
I would say that by next year, you'll be able to go for another 5 countries. Your export sales would be around about 20%. Hope that you will achieve that.
All right.
Okay. Now, let's go to Franco over here. Now, Franco, the first time that I met Franco, that wow, Franco always said, you know, my this infection, my this quantum ion, you know how many certifications that I got? I said, okay, what's so great about it? Okay, everyone got certification, is it true one or not, and so forth. You know, but the thing is that, you see, right now, mask is something that is essential products already. Okay, everyone needs a mask. But the thing is that, how do you actually differentiate good mask and the not so good mask? I wouldn't say bad mask. Okay, and whether it really works or not, we really do not know. Now, and also, Franco, you mentioned that I did some research that a quantum ion comes with this fusion resonance. Okay, sorry, my physics and science are very bad. Okay, but for me, mask is still a simple mask. Okay,
Right.
Okay. Yet you are able to carve your own market through technology and certification, growing both in the local and the foreign countries. Now, I see this is very important because not many of the SMEs are doing that. How important is certification, and what should exporters take note if they want to export? Now, because certification is not an easy task, maybe you want to share your experience on that.
Okay, because we are already in the disinfectant markets for more than 20 years, right? So we understand all the product is driven by the technology. Is a very niche market in order for us to venture in. So for I come into this quantum technology with Dr. Steve, and I also learn because based on my experience in the disinfectant. Therefore, I'm looking at the mask, you know, is essential right now. So how to differentiate a good mask? Good mask is meaning that because across the board we understand our education now recognize certification, right? Certification is like you must go into the right body like serum, like you must go for academic labs such like right?
University Malaysia.
University Malaysia. Okay. That only provide you a very good rate of certification. So in order for us to go into OOC, especially like our neighboring country, before you enter into the country, they need a certification, especially like serum and also the in order for them to get a so-called imported license. There is basic things.
So, sorry, you mean that, let's say, for example, we will export our products, the importing countries would need to have to see all this certification before
definitely. Especially because nowadays mask is become a norm now. You like it or not, you have to wear mask. So other countries, they also practice the same. So in order for us to enter into other country, you have to follow the standard. So how to follow the standard? Then you need to certify. Our MATRADE need to issue us a CFS.
Okay.
CFS is a mask.
Okay.
Then on top of that, you need a serum, and also on top of that, you need to so-called Then only you can helping our distributor in other country to get the import license.
Okay.
That is something a bit different from others products.
Okay. Yeah, but some of the SMEs will say that, wow, going through the certification, it takes time, it costs you money. Export first. So, well, we are in business. Okay, time is an essence, and then a lot of SMEs do not have enough enough funds to actually do a lot of certification. There's so many certification. You need to do certification. You need to do trademark. You need to have custom and so. Well, at the end of the day, no more margin. So, what's your thought about that?
Okay, in first thing before you go for export, then you have to stabilize in local markets. I think that is the fundamental, right? Therefore, you need to know your customer, and then you need to implement a right strategy, especially marketing wise. How much margin you need to you need to create.
Yeah.
That is important. And on top of that, if you wanted to go for overseas, then you have to think whether your determination, like Doctor mentioned about, you never give up. So that it depends on what kind of product you're going in. If you're going in like our product, sterilization or disinfectant, then you need to pass through this hassle.
Okay.
You have no other
choice.
No other choice. Yet you can still import. That you can smuggle. That one call, but we are not encouraging. That one is only a short term. Like us, we preferable like sustainable.
Okay.
Once you succeed to exporting, then you make sure your distributor will continue to
It's not only
buy from you.
Yeah, not
every
only
day.
one container that others
right.
stop. They're continuous.
Continuously. Therefore, I think the certification and also academic labs will helping you to sustain your business. For like our so-called disinfectant segmentation.
Okay.
Other product, you may not need this type of certification.
Okay.
And also, you need to actually provide a so-called insurance to your distributor as well. Yet your product is already have so-called reputable certification. Then they don't worry about whether your product is effective or not.
Okay. Okay.
Because you can cooperate with your local university.
Okay.
And also the local like a serum.
Can.
Then it's easier for them to import.
Okay.
And the most important thing is you can actually get rid of the tax.
Okay. Okay. We'll discuss about that later. Now, let's go to Ruby. Okay, Ruby. Now, Ruby, I know just now you mentioned that several markets, I think Korea is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. My daughter is crazy about Korea drama and so forth.
K-pop and K-beauty.
K-pop and so forth. And then I'm sure a lot of the guys or ladies over there would be experiencing a lot of K-pop culture and also the products. Okay, a lot of the products coming in from the Korea, especially cosmetic and so forth. A lot of them coming in. But just now that I heard that you actually exported to Korea as well.
Correct.
And it's constantly growing. Thing is that now you see, Korea is a market that a lot of the companies import from Korea. But right now you are exporting to Korea. Wow, that's very hard. Okay, to convince the Korean market that hey, we have a better product. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Now, many Malaysian products takes in from the Korea beauty products to Malaysia. Yet, Korea is one of the successful export market.
Yes.
Swiss skincare brand exported by Malaysian, and I believe it's not by luck. Certainly, you have been exporting for 20 years, but a lot of the efforts have been put in. Do share with us what it takes to export a brand to a mature international market. Now, the thing is that a lot of the Malaysian team might be scared. Hey, my product is still new. And I have a client before that they are exporting their furniture to two regions. One is to China. People perceive that it's very cheap from China, but no, but they are able to actually compete. But they also can compete in the Europe market. They also export to the Euro market. Now, it's not easy for a lot of the SMEs to have that confidence to export to this mature market. Do share with us what have you gone through? What were your strategy?
Your daughter may not know my brand because she's not my target audience.
Okay.
Yeah. So for Bobel, we have the target audience is 35 and above. Okay, so these are the people now they start to observe, some problems in the skin, start to have signs of aging, you know, yeah. So yes, our target market is not the young ones.
Okay.
So like those Korean cosmetics that you see in Malaysia, they are mostly like lower price.
Okay.
Yeah, and also simple to use products.
Okay.
Yeah. So simple to use means like, you know, it's not really the therapeutic as what Bobel has, you know.
Okay.
The Bobel, we always use the clinically tested, you know, active ingredients. Yeah. So for formulation is a lot more potent.
Okay.
But of course, you have younger skin, you do not need lah, you know, because your skin is able to regenerate on its own, you know.
You have 4 target
I
market
know.
over here.
These are all my goals. These are all my goals. Okay, my handsome man customers. Yeah. So yes, you are my target customers. Yeah. So you know, so the concept that we have, you know, really appeal lah. You know, because we are talking about body, mind, and soul harmony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this concept, I mean, I have been, you know, promoting this concept since like 20 over years ago. Before, nobody knew about what body, mind, soul harmony. What has it got to do with skincare?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So for me, as I say, I'm very passionate about, you know, giving like real stuff, you know, to my target audience. So I feel in order to have good skin and also healthy body, you need to maintain a harmony of the body, mind, and soul. Yeah. So this is a concept. Yeah.
Okay.
So many of my customers overseas, you know, when they came to us, you know, so this is something that they really resonate with them lah. So that's why, you know, we only can attract like-minded people, you know, who like my concept.
Okay.
Yeah, our concept of Bobel. Yeah.
So you think that the Korean market is having high potential for this group
Of course.
the target market in Korea?
Of course,
Okay.
yeah. So, you know, we are actually very strong in TV shopping as well in Korea.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like a half an hour show, they'll sell 10,000 pieces, you know,
Wow.
of one of our items that is like the eye contour, yeah, for black eye rings and eye bags. Because nowadays, a lot of people are exposed to the radiation, you know, from the digital devices.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have this fantastic product, you know. So they have been running for now at least 16 show already. Yeah. So, you know, and every show is a sold out. You know, we don't understand Korean, but then when the word sold out, you know, from our agents, sold out, okay. In red color, we know that that's sold out.
Okay. That's really good. You see, the thing is that doing advertising and promotion is very different from export marketing. Okay, because export marketing, we would involve other areas like your distribution, your network. Just now mentioned about the rules and regulation, legality of it, and so forth. It's not just like I put in an advertisement, got a Louis Koo there, everyone will buy and so forth. Not that. It takes more than that. Now, at present, like right now we discuss, okay, about now. At present, what are the greatest challenges that you have that you would have already or trying to efficiently grow your market, your global market? The problems that you have right now in the global market, and what are you doing or what have you done? Because these would be the common questions that a lot of SMEs have in mind. It's not an easy question. It sounds easy, but it's not easy. Okay.
You mean the question, the problem?
Yeah. What is in exporting? Maybe your business is too good that no problem at all. I'm not too sure. Okay, because right now everyone is demanding for their products. Okay, maybe that is. I'm not too sure. Now, maybe in terms of your operation also, what are the challenges that you face right now in growing your global market?
Yeah, currently in the glove industry, we are facing this labor issue. Because we are labor intensive industry.
Why not automate?
Yeah, the automation can, but the cost will be the investment cost will be higher. For SME, we are not affordable for this automation yet.
They are grants from the government.
That's why we are trying to negotiate. We are talk to this government agency and see. We are in the progress. In the process of talking.
Okay, that's good. Just for your information, since you mentioned that, let's say for example, if you are intending to move into the industry 4.0.
yeah.
Okay.
This is what-
This is where you're going. Okay, no worries. We need to talk because I'm one of the technical committee for the readiness assessment industry 4, so we can
That's
talk on
good,
that.
that's good.
So it's very important for us to advance ourselves in automation because like right now the government have announced that we're gonna have a minimum wage rate of
1,005.
1,005, but 1,005 is just the basic pay. There are a lot of other incidental costs
correct.
that it will be more than that.
Yeah.
So
There's a big impact for especially for the SME. There's a very
how would it affect your profitability actually?
actually
Not much.
when this announcement come out, we also get shocked because there's too much of increment. I think 25% from 1,002.
Correct.
Is too much. If the government can consider to increase like 10-15% slowly.
Gradually lah,
Yeah,
huh?
gradually. Yeah, one shot 25% is too much, especially for those SME. So but we're trying to do our best lah. To overcome all these.
At this moment, what is your one thing that you're doing to trying to solve the issue? You might not have solved it.
Yeah.
What are the one thing that you're trying to solve that labor issue?
Yeah, we are trying to like my company, we are trying to get more local people. That's why we are the one of the maybe only one or maybe one of it 100% local people.
Okay.
This is the one of the method lah, the very direct method because the people is surrounding you.
Okay.
This is the way how we solve it.
Yeah, correct. Labor issue is certainly one of the key issues for a lot of manufacturers. Now, what about Alan? So again, any challenges or maybe everyone knows Louis Khoo or everyone want to buy your air freshener?
As I mentioned, we are still very new in export. So for me, it will be certificate. Because what I know is different country need different certificate to go in. So I need to. I mean, when I found potential countries that I want to bring my product in. So I need to go find out whether they need anything from certificate to the details before I start doing all the programming.
Okay. Now, you have our friend Franco over here, can get some ideas from him. Additionally, as I mentioned, that MATRADE will be the one agencies that we definitely have to actually go to. Then you would have all the ease of the exporting your products to the global market on that. Franco?
Yeah, currently I'm also facing a certification, not from MATRADE, certification from the MOH.
MOH.
Because our product is a disinfectant products, right? So in order for us to export it and to get the local distributor to get the importer license, so we need a MOH CFS. So that one I'm actually facing right now, and our business is getting better and better, and I think it's good now. The only thing is we do not have the immediate support from MOH CFS.
Okay. Okay, I'm not sure MOH is over that side or not. Okay, maybe if there's, then immediately you can put down your contact number and say, hey, I will be able to actually solve this issue for you. Okay, Franco, come and see me.
But on top of that, what can I do is we already apply through the internet MOH CFS, but since January until now. But at this moment, just what you say, as a businessman, we export first. Then they can do a local arrangement. In order to promote our products.
Fine.
Another thing is because our product we need a platform like humidifier. So we also supply a lot of humidifier to our other countries, but through the China manufacturer. So at this moment, we're also facing a lot of shutdown in China area.
Yes, correct.
That is one of the critical issue right now. On the top of that, also our transport cost is increased 300%.
Correct. I heard.
And even if you want to pay expensive so-called freight charges, you never get container. There is exporter, you need to pay attention on this. And also you have to look for right partners to settle with the so-called a transport company.
Yeah.
So you need to look for a reliable.
Okay, I think it's time for us to actually group ourselves all together of us. Okay, we're gonna see Sean and Wan Azima. If you are still on, you are joining us online, Wan Azima and Sean. Okay, we need to go to MATRADE and have meeting with you all to see what you all can help. Now, what about Ruby?
Okay,
Challenge.
one of the challenges is product registration, you know. Yeah, because skincare, you know, it's just like those masks and all this. We need very strict, what you call it, registration process, yeah. So all the countries that we are exporting to, like China, India, Vietnam, you know. So all of these countries, Korea, very, very, very stringent. Yeah, Korea, you know, they will take your product and then they will throw it from certain height, to see whether your content and your packaging can withstand that kind of stress. Yeah, so it's very, very stringent. So of course, you know, all this can slow down. Let's say, you know, when you go to a country that needs registration, so you have no choice. You need to still like comply. If not, then you cannot export.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the 2.5 years, you know, because of the COVID, you know, pandemic and all this, so some of the countries, the registration already expired. Yeah. So some countries 3 years, some countries 5 years. You know, so now we are in the process of, I would say, massive product registration. They cost a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, because some countries, they don't, like China, they do not allow you to go direct. You know, you still have to get the help of an agent.
Okay.
Yeah, so the agent, of course, you got to pay money, and and things like that. Yeah. So this is one of the biggest challenges.
How do you solve it right now? So how do you solve it?
You cannot. You just have to wait. You know, you just have to go through the process. If not, then your people cannot import the products. You know, just like Indonesia, I really got stuck because, you know, I had an old distributor who didn't do this, who doesn't do this business now. Okay, and we cannot contact her. But then in BPOM, her company name
registered under her.
Correct. Even though expired.
Yeah.
But BPOM insists that no.
Okay.
Yeah. So unless you get the letter.
Have you able to get some assistance from MATRADE?
Yes. So, you know, I would like to thank the CEO of MATRADE.
Okay.
Encik Mustafa. I called him and I told him about my problem. Yeah. So immediately after the call to him, yes. Now we have submitted to BPOM.
Okay, congratulations. Now we see that why should we actually register with MATRADE on that?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's so important. Yeah, they're so helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm waiting for my colleagues to send in some of the questions over here. But while doing that, okay, I just need from each of you to give your advice to the other fellow SMEs. Just one single short advice. If we wanted to export our products and services to the global market, what are the most important things in your viewpoint that they need to do now? Not future, now. What is the one thing that you need to do? Okay. One thing only. Always I give you 10 is easy, give you one very difficult.
Yeah. For me, first of all, they need to register in MATRADE.
Okay. I think next time I need to actually be the marketeer of MATRADE. I think that I mentioned their names a lot. Okay. A lot of advertising for MATRADE already.
No, because MATRADE really helps a lot.
Right.
Helps a lot.
Right.
Okay.
A lot.
Right.
Even ourselves also from baby, we already joined MATRADE, and MATRADE also helping us a lot until today this level. You know. So
okay.
MATRADE is very important. MATRADE, this government agency is very important. Support us.
So MATRADE.
I would like to say register to MATRADE too, but
you
have to say it.
Sorry, today program is actually Maybank and Bizsphere is the co-organizer. Okay. Yeah.
So I would say preparation.
Preparation. What kind of preparation?
All kind details until you need to find out everything. More information, maybe from people who experience in export.
Okay. What about Franco?
Yeah, I just joined MATRADE. Okay, so have to fully utilize MATRADE. So before you wanted to go overseas, check with the local MATRADE officer, right? What kind of product you want to export? Then which country is easy for you to export?
Okay.
check with MATRADE.
Okay. Ruby.
Oh, for me, yeah. I think
But
because you see, for me, yeah, exporting high premium skincare from
Yeah.
Malaysia is unheard of, you know.
Yeah, correct. It's
unheard
not
of.
easy.
Yes, it's true. So to me, I think if you want to export anything, yes, now Malaysians, a lot of them are really good. They have got great products, you know. I've seen some great Malaysian products in the
Yes.
market, okay. But for skincare, high-end skincare is actually really still unheard of. I remember when I wanted to get my Korean agent to bring their beauticians over, they say, why? Why to
Malaysia?
Malaysia? You know? Yeah, they don't want to come. So anyway, I have a very good agent who has got very strong faith in us, lah.
Okay.
You know, because he's been dealing with us. So convince them to come. All right. So we get a really, really good training. Yeah. So we are subject matter expert, you know. So I think whatever you do, you must be passionate. Passionate. Then go and look for all the information, you know, to make you an expert in what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
So then, you know, your product can stand the test of time. Yeah. So especially the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the quality is there, you will have repeat orders. You'll have repeat customers coming.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that is the main important thing.
Well, now, beside MATRADE, if you want to export, you still need a lot of cash flow. You can go to Maybank. You still need a lot of advisory in terms of marketing, branding, SME business development, and so forth. You can look for Bizsphere also, okay? Not only MATRADE, okay? Okay. Now, coming to that now, just to sum up now, very important is that, on a serious note, is that, yes, MATRADE will be the key agency to go to. Number two, as all the gentlemen and the ladies here say, is that a lot of preparation needed. It's not only about products, your research into the market, your certifications.
Right.
There are many more to it. For me, I heard that a lot of the companies, they just thought that by me going for trade fairs, I would definitely get orders. Okay, not that basically by going to trade fairs, it's just exposing yourself. You need to leverage on a lot of connections, know more of the other exporters, gain some experience. Maybe they would have the other partners or clients that they can refer to you. So let's leverage, let's cooperate, and let's collaborate. Now, let me check. Now, my colleague tell me that there's still no question, surprisingly. Okay, you're keeping for the best for the last. Now, over here, since there's no question, we will actually wrap this up. Now, thank you very much, all the panelists over here. We will, Bizsphere would likely gonna invite you for more conversation in the future, and we hope the best for you to grow further to be our Malaysian champion in our export market. I strongly have the confidence because every one of you just mentioned, indicated that you all don't have issue to market your products. Okay, the demand is always there for you.
Yes.
Okay, so it is also because that you all have a very good product. Now, thank you very much, everyone. Now, let me announce the three winners' name. Okay, number one is Bharati Rajan from Technic Group Holdings. Irene Lim from Izumitech, Irene Lim. And the third one is Nita Sophia, okay, from Binoma Cycle and Sports. I repeat here, Bharati Rajan from the Technic Group Holdings, Irene Lim from Izumitech, and this Nita Sophia from Binoma Cycle. Now, what you need to type in again, same, maximizing SME potential. Okay, just type in maximizing SME potential into the chat group so that we know that you are still here with us, and contact the email that has been stated in the chat room, and we shall be able to arrange for the prizes to be sent to you ASAP. Now, we have come to the last session, okay, but it is also very interesting session over here is the opportunities on the global halal market. Now, halal market is not only about halal food products. For a lot of us, we thought that halal is only about food, but it's much more than that. And Encik Mustafa, CEO of MATRADE, in his earlier keynote address indicated that last year, in the 17th MIHAS, okay, Malaysia International Halal Showcase, we have successfully conducted a fully virtual format and generated a record-breaking of 2.13 billion ringgit in export sales, with the participation of the local and the international organizations. Now, not only that Malaysia has good quality of halal products and services, but we are also known to be the world as the halal export hub. Okay. Now, let's hear from Encik Sufatli, head of the Islamic Transaction Banking, GIB Corporate and Investment Banking from Maybank. Now, there are still prizes to be won by the lucky winners, so don't go away. There are still 3 to be available, so stay on with us. I will also be summarizing some of the today's keynotes. So right now, Encik Zo, now maybe to start with, I heard that you have prepared a lot of goodies for us in terms of the information, the exciting opportunity in the global halal market. Maybe you can actually expand it from what Encik Ismail have actually shared with us. Now, to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Yap. First and foremost, I would like to thank Bizsphere to invite me to share about the global halal market and about the opportunities lies in this market. First and foremost, I would like to touch on that Islamic halal is not only exclusive for Muslim. That's right, like Encik Ismail Harun mentioned before. Yep. So halal is actually more than halal F&B, halal food. It's beyond that. If you look into the category of halal, we have 6 pillar, which is it talk about the halal food, halal pharmaceutical, tourism, media, Islamic banking and finance, as well as modest fashion.
Hold on. Tourism and media also got halal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will touch on that
later. Please touch on that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the halal economy, if you look into these six pillar, is very huge. FME alone, it accounted about close to 1.3 billion the market size, meaning that the Muslim purchase in 2020. So that shows how big is the market of halal. So if we look into the global opportunity, I would like to split into 3 main driver.
Okay.
I will talk about the first one is on the demand. Number 2, we talk about the supply, and number 3 is I talk about the government and policy that why halal is a opportunity for, especially for SMEs to venture into. Yeah.
Okay.
So number 1, we look into the demand. I think Encik Ismail Harun have touched about the population of Muslim, right?
Yeah.
As of 2020, there's about 1.7 billion of Muslim population, out of from 7.9 billion of world population. So it's accounted about 25% of population is Muslim, right?
Yep.
So meaning that there's a Muslim consumer of 1.7 billion that consciously taking halal, whether halal food, halal medicine, whatsoever.
Yep.
So that's number 1. Number 2, we look into this out of this population of 1.7 population now, Muslim population now, in the next 5 years and the next 10 years, it will grow 2 times
2 times.
2 times faster. The growth rate is faster than non-Muslim.
Okay.
So that's as per report. Report appear in the State of Global Islamic Economy report by Dina Standard, just published I think 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
So it showed from the report, it give a projection that by 2030, the Muslim population will be accounted of 30% from global population. So you see how big is the size of the demand that I think SME can penetrate. That's number one. Number two, out of the out of this 1.7 billion of population in 2020, and we grow 2 times faster. Out of this population, 30% of Muslim population will be youth and young adult.
Okay.
So youth and young adult, they are active consumer, right?
Yes.
They have a big purchasing power, so they actually purchase. So this will be translated into the dollar and cent, the opportunity that SME should look into. That's the opportunity of halal market. Yeah. So in 2021 alone, Muslim spent about 2 trillion worth of spending.
Sorry, I do not know how many zero are there.
Yeah, it's a huge zero, yeah? But it's 2 trillion.
Okay.
So assuming that if SME can tap 1% from 2 trillion, how big is the size? Just take a calculator and calculate it by yourself. You know how big is the opportunity there.
Okay.
And based on the report, based on the State of Global Islamic Economy report, by 2025, Muslim spending will go up to 2.8 trillion, which is a CAGR, a compounding growth rate of 7.5%. So imagine how big is the consumer spending of Muslim population globally.
I need to venture into this market as well.
Yeah. And that's on the, we look into the demand on the population. We look into the capacity of this particular powerhouse. In OIC, we have about 57 members of OIC, right?
Okay.
Which consists of Muslim country.
Yeah.
And of these 57 OIC member, we look into a GCC country whereby their GDP is grow faster than world GDP. If we total up the total GDP of this country OIC member compared to world growth as projected by World Bank, there will be compounding growth of 7.3%.
Yeah, meaning that the consumption would definitely grow even faster.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why? The question is why the consumption is more faster? Because this country, they are now have their GDP per capita is higher. If you look into, like example, Abu Dhabi, their per capita GDP is about $27,000. And Malaysia now, we are around $10,000 per capita, right? Around that.
Not even half of it.
Not even half of it.
Yeah.
So this country, like example, the country like Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, they are picking up. So with that, the purchasing power of this particular country will be higher and higher. And we all know this GCC country, they are import dependent. Right? They don't produce a lot.
Yeah.
So they import a lot.
Yeah.
So that's on the country. Number 3 is on the, because now we are looking because of this pandemic, right? People are cannot traveling, right? So now people are rely mostly to use internet.
Yep.
And do you know that the penetration, the internet penetration of OIC member or from this GCC is almost 100%. Also almost 100% of internet penetration of this particular country. So imagine that now the marketing, the selling of goods can make through internet.
It's much more easier, much more accessible to all these countries already.
Yes. So it gives opportunity to business to market their product by at their fingertips, right? So that's on the demand on the internet population. So it will drive e-commerce and mobile commerce in the end of the day. And last but not least, from the demand side, I think more and more people nowadays are really the consumer are really conscious about the climate change, right? If you know about UN have a SDG, the sustainable
ESG,
ESG, So consumer also are looking forward for that. So they are looking for something that ethical, and also sustainable. And for that, Islamic economy are universal, and Islamic economy are appealing to this consumer because it touch on the ethic. From the Islamic perspective, we know that we cannot have any uncertainty. We cannot slaughter animal freely. There must be a standard, right?
Correct.
And it must be proper. And most importantly, the Islamic economic wealth is shared across.
Yeah.
If you heard about the teach, right, the zakat one. So that's how the Islamic economy is being shared.
But how would it? Okay, now, foregone conclusion is that the market is huge, humongous.
Yeah.
Okay, the demand is there, and Malaysia has a lot of is in the advantage being positioned as a halal hub, and just now mentioned already the JAKIM. So what can the SME leverage on to actually capture this market?
All right, good question, Mr. Yap. So if you look into the Malaysia context, right, we have the established infra. We have JAKIM who give a certification. We have Halal Park, whereby it's a government initiative to bring over those companies that would like to produce a halal goods or manufacture halal goods under Halal Park, whereby this Halal Park is tax incentive.
Okay.
So that's the point that SME can penetrate. And most importantly, if you look into the SME in Malaysia, we are the producer. We can get ingredient freely compared to the other country who not able to produce by themselves because of they rely fully on import, right? Like example,
correct.
palm oil. We have a abundance palm oil that it produced to other end product like oleochemical, all those stuff that used for various of products. So SME should tap into this halal industry because of we have abundance of raw material that they can tap into.
Then what will be the role of the Maybank in terms of supporting all these SMEs who wanted to tap into the halal market?
All right, okay. For Maybank, we are as a financial intermediary, we provide support not only from the banking financial services. As you know, Maybank team is humanizing financial services. We not only support on that, on the financial services, we also support on advisory. For example, like today with Bizsphere, we have this trade talk, right?
Yep.
So we not only give opportunity to the exporter just recently shared about their experience. We also share about the product that bank can offer to SME to tap into. Of course, they might have a term and condition that for the bank to give such a credit, but we also have a product that not actually needed a facility, which I will share with you later during my session. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the thing is that I want to go back to the areas that now some SMEs don't even know that they are in the halal industry. Like I mentioned just now, you said tourism, and then there's the other one that
media.
Media.
Yeah.
How can the tourism and the media be halal?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I never thought of that.
Okay. All right. Great. Basically, like I mentioned before, the halal economy is not only confined to F&B. It can become across the pharmaceutical, the tourism, as well as media. Talk about the media first, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that in Malaysia, we have a company that produce content by the name of it's a cartoon.
Okay.
It's a cartoon, Omar and Hana.
Okay.
Whereby this content is established or created by a local company, Malaysian local company, and this content has been published to various countries. For example, Indonesia, and Omar and Hana is the top is the top search YouTube by Kids in Indonesia.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So Omar and Hana is the content is talk about the kids whereby he give a content about how to be a good Muslim, how to be the values.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of content that in a way is bring the good value with relate to the face of Islam. For example, do the good deed. For example, right? So that would be classified as a even though there's no hak jakim chop jakim
That's right.
on the media.
How do you actually define that? I am actually offering halal services.
Yeah. But coming back to the content itself, the content itself is doesn't show excessively attitude or words which is against the teaching of Islam, for example.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of example that media can come can categorize as a halal media.
Okay.
And if we talk about tourism, for example, I think because of during this pandemic or COVID-19 pandemic, many of tourism impacted, right?
Yes.
But before the pre-pandemic, tourism would be the main sector for a lot of country. For example, Thailand.
Yep.
Thailand is their tourism contributor to GDP is quite
very high.
Very high.
I think more than 40%, something like
correct.
that. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5 years back, Thailand is number 1, followed by London, etc. So tourism is another economy that most of country is looking at. Take example Dubai.
Yeah.
Last time Dubai is only a plain country, right? Nothing
desert.
Desert. But because of the wisdom of Sheikh Al Maktoum, he developed Dubai into a very nice country, and now they attracting tourism.
Yeah, tourism destination
of the world. Yeah. And do you know that Dubai is the airport. The airport Dubai is one of the most active.
Yeah.
That bridge between
Europe and the other areas.
The other areas. So that's on tourism. And Saudi, if you know Saudi, also working on to tourism. Yeah, because of the oil, dependency on the oil, and because of the oil price drop, they will diversify. So this will be the supply from the tourism, whereby this will be another economic sector that SME should look into. And for your information, as per the state report of the Global Islamic Economic Report, Malaysia is the ranking number 1, followed by Saudi, etc. So, and we are ranked number 1 because we are the top provider in terms of these 5 pillars, which is tourism is one of it.
Okay.
So we are the destination of halal.
Yeah.
So that's to answer about tourism and media. That's on the halal part. Yeah.
Okay. What else do you want to share with the SMEs?
All right. I talk about the demand, right? I talk about demand, about the population. I talk about the GDP growth. I talk about the internet connectivity, and also I talk about supply, which is on the diversification of economy, as well of now there's a lot of global brand involved in halal because of they know that the opportunity of this halal market.
Yeah.
And with this global brand, like example Nestle, H&M, they are looking into this halal space. It will create a spillover in terms of looking for their suppliers. And normally the suppliers for this MNC will be SMEs, which is the opportunity lies in SME in Malaysia to provide or to connect or to produce and supply to this big name.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's on the supply. And on the government policy, I think this one, it's not about it. MATRADE is being there, supporting the exporter.
Yeah.
But on top of that, if you look into RMK 12, halal is one of the agenda that being listed under the RMK 12.
Yeah.
And to manifest the RMK 12 during the budget 2022, I think the Ministry of Finance announced two budget related to halal, which is announcement of 25 million that allocated for halal product development for micro SME, and number 2, 10 million launching of wakaf SME halal for agriculture and disaster wakaf.
Okay.
So that would be translate into that Malaysia is serious on halal, and that's where SME have opportunity to venture into this industry.
Okay. Now, just now you mentioned that the Maybank don't only offer the financial solutions, but also a lot advisory. Where can I get that from Maybank?
All right. Okay. Before I go to that question, I think I want to touch about the four industry, the six industry that I mentioned before, just to give a glimpse to the audience out there in terms of where is the growth coming from and which sector from that particular industry that if they want to venture, which sector,
Okay,
right?
great.
So, number one is halal food. Halal food industry in 2021 has reached about 1.27 trillion. So that's and it will be in the next 5 years it will be compounding line with the growth of population. That's number one. And based on the report from this halal global report, the top growth area that big company are looking into is ready to eat meals. That's number one. Number two, their area is on the traceability of halal logistic. Because we talk about halal logistic, it's not only make sure the good is transported from point A to point B, but the logistic must be ensured that it must be not commingled, it's not with the non-halal, as well as the handling of it. Because I give an example of if one company or deliver bread, for example, when they deliver to the stall, if they put just on the lying on the cement, without any cover or whatsoever, it could be contaminated or cross-contaminated. So halal logistics is talk about the fully the governance of it.
Okay.
To ensure that it's probably halal, or we call it halalan thayyiban lah.
Okay.
Number two, we look into the halal pharma and cosmetic. In 2021, a total of 100 billion of Muslim spend on halal cosmetic, which if you heard about it, Singapore has produced a mask with halal certification. To that extent, you never thought that mask need to be halal, right? But Singapore do it. And do you know that toothpick? You know toothpick that we used to correct our leftover, right? It also became halal because of the tip of the toothpick contain some peppermint or something that it need to be ensure that the ingredient is halal.
Okay.
So
I never thought.
We never thought about it, but it's true.
One case that I actually want to share is that last time there's an SME, they are selling kurma. Okay, right now bulan puasa, Ramadan coming and so forth, kurma, and he actually wanted his product to be certified halal. But kurma is just a fruit.
Yeah.
Kurma. He went to Jakim, and Jakim says, "Well, no need to certify. This is just fruit." But he wants it to be certified. Certified. So you need to find ways that, well, basically, it's not only about the fruit, but about handling of the fruit. Fruit. So that's very, very important. And why he insisted to have the halal certification is that it makes it more marketable.
Correct.
Okay, more marketable, and I think that a lot of Muslims would actually say that guna number one was. Okay.
Yes.
So these are the things that would add on the benefit towards the marketability of the product.
Correct. Correct. You are right. Right. I totally agree. It's not about the food itself.
Yeah.
But it's the handling of the food. Like I mentioned, it's not about. I think HDC have promoted this halalan thayyiban. It's about not only the goods, the food itself, but the handling of the food from the end to end, the whole supply chain of the food. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what else are the other non-popular halal products that, like for example, that a lot of people says that right now you got skincare got halal. Right now even pharmaceutical also got halal. Yep. Financial got halal. What else that we do not know? Maybe you can share. I'm not too sure. Because it seems that right now a lot of the different kind of product services also can be halal.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I mentioned just now. I shared about the content.
Yeah.
The media content. The demand of it, if you look into it, is plenty. It's abundant, right? Especially on the on the children education side.
Yeah.
So that's
At the
area,
education side on the
yeah,
halal side.
that's the area that currently there's a space that been blank that need to be filled up the gap, whereby local content from the Malaysia context is not enough to support that. I think I like to give a quote about this one. It's a local SME that produced a device whereby it recites, and the device is actually a pillow, and the demand is very good.
And it's halal.
And it's halal content.
Okay.
It's a halal content because you don't imagine if you have a pillow and that pillow is reciting Al Quran. It's reciting a good Quran lah. So that we use for baby to calm them down. For sleep. So and it's very popular device.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Malaysia SME really need to drill down on this because the opportunity a lot has been mentioned just now. Zoe mentioned that the opportunity, the market is so big, and we might have our existing products right now, which we might not think of that we do not have the halal element inside there.
Yeah.
But if we can be more creative and innovative, and we incorporate that, and if it can be certified, even if it will be better.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Because like for example, I think that this in the month of September, if I'm not mistaken, MIHAS is going to happen again, and for the exporters, I believe that you ought to take this opportunity to participate in this event because the market is huge. A lot of the potential buyers is coming over. Do participate in that. Yeah. Anything else that you want to share? Before, let me check. While I check for the any of the questions coming up from the participants over here.
So before we go to that, I just want to touch on because we know about the demand, the halal demand, right? There's humongous demand. But how for our SME to venture out, right? On top of getting guidance and support from MATRADE, they also need to look a partner, especially a banking partner that can help them to venture out, especially in providing a good financial support, especially when involve risk mitigation, where bank is good at it. That's number one. Number two, in terms of financial support. So if you look into total trade flow of SME, I just take manufacturing, for example. The manufacturer will manufacture goods from end to end, right? So when they receive an order from their buyer, of course they need to produce. So for them to produce, they need to buy a raw material. They need to, for example, if buy domestic, we will locally buy, or if they import, they need to import. And then once they receive the raw material, they need to produce. Work in progress, right? They need to manufacture. After that, they will store after ready, they will store into warehouse before it ship out. So this period will conceive a capital, right? They need, for example, when the SME buy the raw material.
Yeah, and it's cash flow. SME don't have enough cash flow right now.
Yeah. So as a good for the wise SME in their trade flow, they need to ensure that their inflow and outflow is matched. We call it a working capital cycle, and a good working capital cycle whereby they can match their payable and also their receivable. But more or less that would be ideal lah. Ideal. But more or less there are SME that cannot because their supplier have a big muscle compared to them, or their buyer have a big muscle compared to them. But how to mitigate it is they need to understand their flow, and see what are the gap. We call it a working capital gap.
Working capital
gap. Okay. This working capital where the bank can come in to match the gap. I'll give you an example. Like example, day one, SME need to receive an order, right? And it is the journey from they receive order until they deliver and receive payment is 45 days. For example, day one they receive order, day 7 the SME purchase, right? They purchase the good raw material, and day 14 they receive the raw material, and they produce. Let's say they take 14 days, and day 30, for example, the good is ready, and on day 7 when they order, they already make a money to the supplier, right? So meaning they have a capital out there. But on day 45, after the good is ready and they deliver to the supplier, maybe the supplier give a credit term of 7 days. So net, let's say 45 days, they receive the money. So from day 14 until day 45, they out of pocket.
Okay.
So this period whereby we call it a working capital gap, whereby there's a two option that SME can take. Number one, they can use their own capital.
Yep.
On day 14, they pay first. They wait until day 45 to get their money back, or they come to the bank, get a trade financing product from the bank
products
to close the gap. Whereby, of course, in return they need to pay a profit for that borrowing, for that financing. But for a smarter SME, they can always factor into their cost of goods, of cost of doing business, cost of doing business, COGS, right?
Yeah.
Whereby they can either transfer it or their margin will be reduced.
Yeah.
So that kind of opportunity, that kind of tools that SME should look into. That's where banks can come in, talk to bank, understand, share the cash flow, their pattern, and see how bank can help them in terms of providing a solution to the consumer, to the SME, especially in terms of what would be the best trade financing facility that can offer to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, thank you very much. Because the time is clicking, right now we have to summarize the whole session. Now, the thing is that from today's session, from the 2 o'clock until right now, we have actually noted that very important if you are an exporter. Number one, many of the exporters that I mentioned, MATRADE is an agency to go for you to get information and get support. And you need to actually move forward in the area of the advancement of the technology so that you won't rely so much on the labor, because the cost of labor would continuously be increasing. Then we have that certification. Now, in order for you to export, it's not only about you have good products. Someone would need to certify that your products is good enough or safe enough for it to use. And also, we mentioned about the sustainability. Sustainability meaning that the international buyer right now is promoting the concept of ESG, whereby that they will want company to work with companies who are more responsible to the society, to the world, and to the green as well. Now, also in terms of the marketing and the promotion, okay, it's not always in terms of the just spending money, advertising, and so forth, but a lot of the research need to be done, whereby you can go to BIC and the export marketing strategy, which distribution channel that you're going to use, okay, what are you going to spend on, where are you going to target, and so forth. Okay, a lot of these things would need to be strategized. Now, of course, last but not least, financial part. Okay, yeah, you might have a lot of the good products, but you need the cash flow to actually fund it. When opportunity comes, you need to buy raw materials. Okay, you need to have a period of time for you to roll and so forth. And this is where all this trade financing would come in. And just now, Pak Mario has already mentioned to us there are quite a number of options that we can actually choose from. Now, that would be the key summary of today's web forum. Now, very important over here is that we need to leverage on what we have, and we today from Maybank side, okay, we have all the financial solutions that you need to get you to the global market. For MATRADE side, they have 286 of the exporters development and promotional programs. Bizsphere have a lot of the capacity and capabilities services, including branding, marketing, training, business strategies, government incentive search, and even helping the manufacturers to start your smart manufacturing journey through Industry 4.0. Now, do look for the contact information in the chat room, be it from the MATRADE, Bizsphere, or Maybank. Now, very much thank you. I know that the program supposed to be ended at the 5:30, but the thing is that right now we already about the 7 minutes to 6. 7 minutes to 6. Now, I won't forget this time. There are still 3 winners. Let me look at what my colleague have sent me. Okay, the 3 winners is that one Muhammad Effendi, Victor Lee, and Yo Pei Shan. I repeat, Wan Muhammad Effendi, Victor Lee, Yo Pei Shan. And you need to type in, what's your tagline? Humanizing financial services. Type in humanizing financial services in the chat room to prove that you are here. And what's gonna happen is that on our the Maybank colleague will actually send you the gift. Now, to summarize, thank you very much for your participation in the Maybank Trade Talk 2022, co-organized by Maybank Islamic, Maybank Berhad, and Bizsphere, supported by MATRADE. Now, I would like to end this session with MATRADE tagline. The time to export is now. Thank you very much. I'm Keng Teck here from Bizsphere Brand Marketing Group, signing off, and hope that we will see you again in other events. Thank you.
What is our time on earth for? Blessed are we in lands of rich greenery, full of life and opportunity, where our responsibility is to make time. The time to lead the way for prosperity. The time to lead the way for society. The time to lead the way for Mother Earth. We make the time to do the right thing for a future that's fully inclusive and to leave no one behind. To share the prosperity for greater unity in our diversity. To elevate society by bridging the financial divide with easy access to financial facilities for all. Make time to innovate for humanity. Our solutions and initiatives are investments in a future sustainable for each and every one of us. Everything that we do and stand for is for humanity. For when we humanize how we do business, we're continuously making time for good a reality.